whoa.
Boom. You're in the video now.
Ready or not, here we are. Back again.
I imagine you doing like the Mr. Beast thing with like your hands out, like gonna grab them.
Well, guys.
I'm pulling
Hey,
you into the
YouTube.
manga.
When can we have like the O faces on the thumbnails to get people in? We need to start doing that.
We do need to have more O faces.
And blind children that we're giving thumbs up to.
Yeah.
And whatever else Mr. Beast does.
Yeah,
I don't
Yeah,
know.
we can blind Asher so we can give him stuff.
Me
Yeah.
putting my hands on my head, making a big face.
We don't have a thumbnail. You have a thumbnail of a kid who can see, not a blind kid.
Oh, is that okay?
Oh.
The way everyone got so upset, it seemed like he blinded them. I don't know.
Well, yeah. Well, we can blind them, but we can.
He
We just have to do that part
supposedly
off screen.
cured their blindness, but they were never blind to begin with, and I think that was
Okay.
the hoax.
Well, now that we've talked about Mr. Beast, we should probably start talking about Kagurabachi, which is what this is actually about.
And we can talk
you
about the real beast, Chihiro, and his cool sword.
Do you think Mr. Beast likes Kagurabachi?
I think Mr. Beast would be really into Kagurabachi.
I don't think he makes time to read manga, but if he did, he'd enjoy it.
He watched
He's
Squid
got an
Game
assistant
once.
who reads the manga and just gives him cliff notes like the this chapter explained videos.
I cut down 10,000 people with fish to see how they react and gave him $1,000.
Yeah. I mean, the money isn't going to be great if you've been cut into pieces by a fish, though.
I think it'd work. It'd keep off the settlements.
You move this money sneakily.
But I wanted to mention how proud I am that we've expanded so much because we are now on Spotify. We're now available to listen to on YouTube Music.
Whoa.
Thanks all 30
and-
people who listened on Spotify. Mwah.
Yeah, we had
Yes,
30
like for
listeners
real.
on Spotify.
Hey,
I
that's
thought it was
good.
going to be like 1 or 2.
Mwah.
Yeah,
Like, thank God.
Spotify, like we don't know how to get discovered on there. That's just Spotify
Yeah.
and the people doing the work for us.
That's you going out of the way looking for us. Thank you.
Yeah, and
I assume
and
at least 18 of those 30 were from YouTube going, really? And then they listened to it for 10 seconds and were like, yep, it's there.
the novelty of listening
Wow,
to
I can
Ready or
listen
Not
to
on
waveform.
Spotify.
On Spotify?
This is an MP3 and not a live stream or MP4. The
I know
novelty
we're
of it.
breaking new ground here. People are thinking it's crazy. A podcast that's audio. I know, nuts. But we think that there's room to grow in that space.
But for the people
Seems
on
like a market
Spotify,
weak corner.
exactly.
I don't know
For
how
the
many of
people
these
on
people.
Spotify, they're no, but I'm just saying we I'm
know
sorry,
how many of
I've
these
got
are
caught off
people.
guard. No, there's people on Spotify. You didn't know this, but podcasts actually can come in video form too. And so you can go to youtube.com/@GoodTimeZone.
And you can also see us when we talk about the little comic panels of which we discuss and describe.
Yeah, look at me. I'm talking about it right now, and you can see my fish bouncing. Well, maybe is bouncing happening?
I think bouncing's happening.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can watch us bounce. You can watch us whenever we talk about a page of the manga and we're like, hey, look at this. Isn't this cool? And we forget to describe what's happening. Then that's when you get to benefit from watching it on YouTube.
What we're saying is whatever's convenient for you. They all work now.
Every single one of them sometimes.
I mean, when you're lucky.
I'm sorry. I wanted to get all that excitement out of the way. I was just got really pumped for it. So
So now he's here to stop being excited.
Yeah, now we're gonna
Yeah.
lower down the energy and boringly
let's-
talk about some books.
let's just talk about some boring old picture books for the rest of this entire podcast. Kagurabachi, though, we've got the first arc covered in our last video, which you can check out. And now we're on to the Rakuzaichi auction house arc. So what's the general consensus on this? I think if I recall, Tyler liked it better than the first one. But what was everyone's thoughts compared to the first arc?
Do we want to get into spoiler overview stuff immediately? Or am I just going to be like broad strokes?
I'd say broad strokes.
Okay.
I was saying we got one comment which really affected me, saying
Oh, we
how
should bring up comments. There's so many good ones.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, but there was just like one where we said, oh, we're doing Kagurabachi 1 through 18 on the title, and then we mentioned something that happened later in the arc, later in the Rakuzaichi arc. So maybe we should try to keep it as chronological as possible and just broad strokes.
Yeah, well, we thought we were gonna get to the whole thing. All right,
We did think that.
All right, we're just
In our defense, we overestimated.
We tend to do that.
Anyways, do you want to hear my favorite comment?
Yes.
Please.
This is from Gabrielle Phillips, Arrow Sky Star. They say, it's amazing how little reading comprehension this entire group seems to have. Kagurabachi isn't that complicated, but they all somehow have different interpretations of very obvious and clear
Oh.
things.
Uh-oh. We're getting
Oh.
called out.
I just
Is
thought
there
you
any more
guys
to
should
that?
know, because I knew this. Like, I knew it was simple. I said it was simple at the outset. I said it was obvious and clear, and I just didn't know if you guys were as smart as I was. So I just wish you
Well,
guys
here's
would.
the thing.
smart
I
like me.
love the book series Animorphs, and I was reading those in the 3rd grade and think they're still good today. So maybe I've just got a 3rd grade reading level, and this is all on me. I'm sorry. I failed you all. These comics are too complicated for my child brain.
Yeah, like what? I'm wondering because now this is getting to me. Like how much like
No, Ben, this
misinterpretation
is why you
did we
don't
have
read
on this?
YouTube comments. This is
No,
why
this is
every
important.
YouTuber
This
says
is important. We need to check
No.
ourselves.
No, this
Yeah.
is
Do
why
I have poor
everyone.
reading comprehension?
This is why every commenter is wrong, Ben.
Yeah, this is why we got to take after some of my favorite YouTubers that
If
go,
you-
all of you comments are wrong, and they go through this elaborate video about how all their comments are stupid.
Yeah.
We gotta
I think we
stick
need to
our
build an
guns.
audience full of masochists who like to be told that they're wrong and stupid.
We have
And-
most of those, so don't worry.
Yeah,
good,
we're
yeah.
already mostly there.
Yeah, everyone in the chats who's watching along with us, just raise your hand if you would
Raise
like,
your hand if
like to
you're
be called
stupid.
stupid.
Yeah,
Yeah,
raise your
don't
hand
worry,
if you're
this-
dumb.
This is no judging space. No judging space. Take down all their names.
But
Yeah, if we get 90% return on people who want to be called stupid, then we'll make sure to
look.
do that every episode.
Fortunately, these following 25 chapters or whatever, I don't think any of them have an instance where it says they fought for exactly 12 seconds and then we see them eating, snacks later. I don't think we're gonna have to worry about some metaphorical dream universe where they were also eating or fighting and killing each other.
Listen, we have a hard time with metaphor. That's just who we are. That's part of our charm.
the simile for a metaphor.
I think that's in
Hard.
our channel description is just having, hey, we make videos about games and stuff. Also, we have a hard time with metaphors. Don't judge us.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's at least on every tag of every shirt people bought.
It's on the fine print, every description.
But yeah, we also had people saying Frankenstein's Gate had a big old paragraph. I'm not gonna read the whole thing, but he was very happy that we did things about talking about like how mangaka used the manga format and stuff like that. Like we really focused on that, and he mentioned like, oh, other people don't really talk about that a ton. It was like it's nice that you guys specifically talk about the medium of manga and that it's cool.
Yes,
Yay!
I love the medium
My favorite
manga, so I'm
medium.
glad that's being appreciated. So
Yeah,
we'll continue talking about that stuff. That's great.
it's not all sour grapes, Ben. And that one has way more thumbs up than the one that says we have very
People
little reading
agree with
comprehension.
that comment.
And if
Okay,
they knew
so
anything
that-
about reading comprehension, they would know that reading comprehension is a populist vote and that the most common interpretation is the correct one.
Is
So
right.
your take is stupid, Gabrielle. You with your fucking 8 thumbs up. Shut the fuck up. Why don't you get some reading comprehension, huh? Read the room.
Anyway, we're so happy to have you here. Please
I looked
stick
at
around.
Discord.
Thank you.
There
Thank
you
you
go.
for commenting. We appreciate it.
But as far as like broad stroke stuff for this arc, I liked it a lot. I was already kind of like getting into things like I was really starting to dig this by the end of the last arc, and I feel like this arc kind of just like built on the things I liked about that last arc. So I enjoyed it. I'm very posy on this arc.
Oh yeah, this arc is good.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it really does build on everything. Like the first arc was just very simple, relatively short, and it only dealt with like 3 to 4 main characters. And it's just like, okay, this is built on everything. It didn't really take away from much. It had a lot more interesting concepts to it. So I appreciated it. What about you, Tyler?
I thought it was good. I definitely liked it more than the first arc. Not saying that the last one was bad, but I liked everything that was going on here. Seeing more
Yeah.
of like the world going on,
Yeah, the world definitely
outside of-
expanded with this one.
military factions.
Yeah. All right. In that case, let's start just going chronologically and see what what interesting insights we can have about any whatever weird metaphorical instances happen, and we can all disagree because we don't understand it.
Yeah, I'll try my best, but no promises.
Yeah. Well, right out the gate, I like these like first 3 panels here. Because like we open with this new character we have not seen before, and just talking about when he lost his pet mantis samurai. And then offhandedly mentions that's around the same time I lost my family. Like, I love that he's way more concerned about the mantis than losing his entire family.
And then the immediate like subversion of that, I guess, where he's just like, is he like bleeding? Is he spitting up his drink? See, I'm already misinterpreting. I can't read it. I can't read for shit. So no, I'm not
if
bitter.
only
What
they
are you
could make
talking
these
about?
damn comics in color, there'd be so much less questionable situations here.
Steve, okay, so what he's saying right here is you have to grit your teeth and push through. And if anybody knows, because they were a kid, you grit your teeth when you have soda behind your teeth and you push through and do that little thing. So
Okay,
he's doing
that's
it,
what's
but he fucked it up right there and all the soda came out of his mouth.
But currently he's not strong enough to grit his teeth and push through. That's his character. He's got his character arc. He's going to learn to grit his teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have had more of a spray to it if he properly grit his teeth, but because he couldn't, it just spilled out. Okay. Now I'm understanding.
Yeah, see, this is what we call a metaphor for what's happening on the screen, all right, Ben? Because clearly we need to teach you some reading comprehension.
Exactly, yeah.
Like Oda said.
But no, I really do like. I like the fact that he's just like his internal dialogue is just like, okay, this is no big deal. You just got to deal with it. And the fact that he's just like either clenching his teeth so hard he's bleeding, or just spitting up the drink because he can't like focus or whatever it is. It's just a clear visual indicator that he's having a harder time dealing with it than the words suggest.
Yeah.
To steal an airplane bit, he's just got a drinking problem, man. He just can't handle it.
And I'm glad that he the wait staff has to deal with cleaning it up for him. I really do appreciate someone who makes it harder for the working people.
I do too.
Keep those service industry folk where they belong, serving and cleaning.
Yep. And then we learned that this is actually happening at the same time as the fight in with Sojo. What's his name? It's been a while since we talked about this.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Would this be considered a flashback and they're not doing the thing?
Oh
yes,
yeah, no
it
black
would.
bars. When does this take
No black
place?
bars.
They were fighting again?
Oh, he's still alive, thank God!
Well, this is in the interim between when they were drinking tea. When they jumped out of the roof and they did this, and then they jumped back
this
in.
is the place where they were
Oh.
drinking tea, because he also had tea. I get it.
Yeah.
He pokes
Okay.
his head in, hey guys, do you want more dongo? I'll be introduced next chapter.
Yeah, they're in the snack dimension. Okay, that'll make sense. No, for this one I think it's fine because it's just like, I don't know. It's telling someone else's story. It's not a flashback for them. I don't know. Maybe that's just weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty clear what's happening. But
Yeah.
I like this. I do really like, because I don't feel like, I mean, I've only read so many manga, but I don't feel like we get like kind of outsider perspectives on what the heroes are dealing with. But it's like a fun, like, just like, did he just say something about lightning? Like, it's just like, they're like, we're not getting the whole conversation because we're not out there with them.
This would be like a Dragon Ball chapter opening up with somebody like sitting down there as like Babbity's yelling at everybody on the island or whatever. Like I'm Joe Smith having my old little dish. What is he saying? He's gonna eat us? What the fuck?
Yeah, what's he talking about? Who's that pink guy?
Yeah, I love that.
It's an angle you don't see often. I like it.
The perspective of the common man contextualizes everything that's happening.
Yeah, I like it.
I love it. Baki does it every fucking chapter. It's just like, I saw these two titans walking down the street. I thought a movie was going on. They just started swinging on each other and biting each other. And I learned through thermodynamics that this punch actually was stronger than this one.
The science lesson for you.
My science lesson is that lightning rods absorb electricity, and then I'll absorb it and turn it into
supercharges
goldfish.
a fish.
Yeah, you've charged my fish's batteries. Go.
And he immediately associates the Chihiro with the samurai, which is the name of the pet we just learned, the praying mantis.
So obviously this guy's a big samurai fan. He loves the Bushido style.
Yeah. I mean, it also just makes an immediate connection. He liked his pet, clearly. And
now he likes Kagurabachi.
Yeah, because they're both samurai. It makes sense. It is like a weird piece of subtle storytelling that I like. It's okay. Immediate connection. They're gonna be friends. And then hard cut to November 1st.
18 days after the big fight you just saw.
So we got a bit of recovery going. Don't have to worry so much about it.
We pick back up with our new friend whose name I don't think has even been said yet still.
No, it definitely hasn't. And now he's being taken in by the gangsters. I honestly don't remember the scene very well.
Flashback because it's slightly darker.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, so I think he got caught up when Chihiro was fighting Sojo. I think he got caught up with the guys who were trying to steal Char. He's just like, oh, take me instead of an innocent little kid, I believe, is what happened.
I don't know if it's the people who took Char, or if it's just like another seedy, gross underground people. Because he's just kind of like, oh, like I'm going to rescue this like he's inspired by Chihiro's bravery and stuff. He is like now trying to basically be a little vigilante himself.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And he's just like, I'm gonna set this kid free. Like, and as we'll learn later, maybe he knows a bit of the underworld himself, so he's like kind of aware of how things go and what he's witnessing. So he's like trying to stop it.
I think this is an important thing too. Like, this is like kind of a little aside, but multiple times throughout this arc, people are inspired by Chihiro being a little shonen hero and make a change. It's cool.
Yeah, it is good because he says from the beginning he's not going to let a single person die because of these swords, and it's nice to see the immediate ramifications of people appreciating that.
Yeah.
So it's like it's reinforcement that what he's doing is the best choice.
He might not consider himself some big hero, but he's making waves. He's doing stuff.
Yeah, I keep having to remember that Chihiro's on a bloody revenge quest. He's not an altruistic hero. He just kind of happens into that.
But by doing his natural heroic tendency things, he is inspiring other people to be heroic, and I think that's going to come through in a sense where it's like, hold on, maybe you shouldn't be a crazy revenge man.
Yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't chop off this guy's head once I have all 8 swords.
Probably
we
not
get to. I like the implication that this crime boss is real gross and scummy, because we see them abducting a little girl. Talks about how like, well, hey, after the freaking crazy auction that's coming up, we'll have all the little girls we want to butcher. So we'll let her go for now. And then they were like, but boss, she's your type. And he's like, then never mind, go get her. Forget what I just said. I can't let a little girl run free. So it's we go some dark, gross places with these fellas, is what I'm saying.
Yep, some good old nasty bad guys.
Surely something bad will have to happen to them.
Maybe this
and
guy
here it is, our boy gets ready. Yeah.
He's shooting his big ISO beam at them and killing them, and then it doesn't work. So it turns out he sucks.
He's got the lingo of the sorcerers and maybe a cool looking eye, but does not seem to have any power.
Yep.
A failure.
And then along comes Mr. Chihiro. And we don't know why he's just jumping into all these gangs and killing them up yet, but he saves the new boy.
Once again, stepping in and saving a fella.
And then we get a flashback, which details just the fact that, okay, Sojo wasn't behind putting up the sword for auction. There's bigger people at play here. And in order to figure out how to get access to this auction, we need to we need to get some underworld connections and to find out who's running it. And the Sazanami family is running it, so we need to get a connection with them.
So we just need to find someone who's part of the Sausage Nami gang.
Exactly. And so Chihiro meets up with this new kid, says, thank you, I need your help with stuff.
I like this bit here of like Chihiro clearly being very uncomfortable with someone basically idolizing him. He's confused. He doesn't know what he's talking about. I'm out of here.
It's just like this really messed up guy is just clinging to you and yelling and say, I'm so happy to meet you. It's just fate. It's like, it genuinely does sound like kind of a crazy guy you'd meet in New York or something. Just like, okay, you're fine.
Everyone in New York is always pulling me aside and saying, "This is fate."
I don't know. The one time I went to New York, that happened, and so I was just like, "Okay, do you need some help?
It's colored the whole city for you.
No, it's destiny, Ben. I need you.
Yeah, what you don't realize is you just walked away from destiny. This is like the other side of the story.
That was a real
you
life
becoming
side quest, Ben.
Yeah.
Ben,
I can't believe I missed that. Oh man,
you
that
let the
sucks.
auction happen?
Yeah, you could have stopped the auction.
I could have stopped the auction. I could have gotten a sword from him. Oh man, you know what? Next time we meet someone like this, absolutely doing whatever they say.
Look, if you're that guy in New York and you're in the chat, let us know.
They're pretty sure they would be, right?
Yeah, if it is destiny, they would be here right now.
Mm-hmm.
We've got over 50 viewers. That's what are the chances of it not happening?
There's like only 51 in New York, I think.
Yeah.
It's one of the smaller states.
But
turns out Samurai Boy is in fact a Sazanami family member. Hakuri Sazanami. So now we've got our connection to the crazy auction.
Yeah, so he introduces himself and he is a Sazanami, which is exactly what we've been looking for. And Chihiro is extremely surprised.
Yeah,
Extremely excited.
very plussed about what's being discovered.
Yeah, so this one's definitely a joke. I mentioned in our last video, I was like, I'm not sure if he's good at expressions or not. This one's definitely intentional, I know.
It's just like he's just.
It feels very Mob Psycho.
Yeah. He does have that kind of just default expression. It is endearing. I like it.
Look, when you're on a revenge quest to avenge your father, sometimes the emotions in your face just aren't all there.
Yeah. So we've got our connection to the Sazanami family. What's his full name again? I forget.
Hakuri Sazanami.
Yeah.
And he kind of tells us that he was like kind of the runt of the group, and basically excommunicated. I don't remember exactly how much detail he goes into here, but we kind of get the gist that he's like, at some point I realized, hey, my family's running this auction, and that this auction is bad news, and I don't want to be a part of it, even if it's our whole family's like thing. So I kind of just walked away from it all and renounced it.
Yeah.
So it's just a crazy coincidence that we just happened to meet and are so tied into this same event. Good thing for us.
Some people might call this bad writing. I call it fast because you know it's going to happen anyway. So I appreciate that we're just not dealing with 10 chapters of we got to hunt this guy down. You know you're going to find him. Let's just go.
Yeah, and there's enough of an explanation for it. Like he was specifically seeking out Chihiro because of the fact that he saved a crowd full of people, and so it's like, okay, he saved a whole crowd, and one of them's got to be important, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's been 18 days since the last event, so I'm sure he's been running around for that entire time looking for a connection to this auction.
And I appreciate that we don't have to see those 18 days.
Yeah,
we just cut right to.
Hey,
we need to find this guy
or anything.
Here's a flashback. We need to find this guy. Flash to now. We found this guy. Thank you,
we got
Kagurabachi. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it only took 18 days.
We took the express ramp to Plot City.
Like, I can't remember. Did he lose an arm or something in the last fight? And
and he grew it back.
He just has it already.
Yeah.
Like, that girl healed him. We don't need to see that part. That's okay.
Yeah, we knew it was going to happen. As soon as we learned she could heal other people, we knew that was going to be a thing. Don't need to spend time on that. It's fine.
We're going to let Chihiro's self-sacrificial nature just completely work in his favor because he's got a magic heal girl in his pocket. It'll be fine.
All right, and the Shinichi is the name of the blade that's on auction. They're going over how, hey, let's work together to stop it. And because the Shinichi is the prized thing they're selling, if the Shinichi is taken away, then the auction is ruined, and that's Hakuri's goal.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I forgot in the last chapter we met someone who was granted permission to use the flame bone up to the torso.
Oh yeah, for the magic police, who I will never refer to by their proper name. They're just the magic police.
Yeah, magic police. I don't even remember what they are.
Proper noun, magic police.
Yeah, magic.
Yep.
Capital M, capital P, magic police.
Yeah, the MP. And yeah, we're basically introduced to essentially our Vegeta character, I feel like, the angry rival.
Yeah. Whose
Hiyuki,
name
I think
is?
was her name. Hiyuki. I remember that
Shut up!
one.
I'm asking Grant.
Oh, yeah, Grant. What was her name? Tell us right now.
Forget.
Hiyuki, apparently.
Wow, Grant, good job remembering that.
But the thing that I didn't realize for a while is that Hiyuki is a lady, apparently. She's a she. That I just thought she had cool hair, a dude hair in my mind. Sorry if I.
Grant thinks
that's
everybody's a
old
dude.
Take. Yeah, I'm assuming that if you're strong in a manga, you must be a manly man, because that's as we all know, those are the only
course.
strong people, both in media and real life.
This
ladies,
is shonen
flexes. Yeah, this
Look,
comics
I thought
for
you were a
boys.
dude.
Every
That's the
cool
biggest
character
compliment.
must be a boy.
Yeah. I don't think I was certain at first. I mean, it is hard to tell. I don't think they ever say like any pronouns or anything.
I think
Look,
the
for
a
one
while.
little
I'm
giveaway
falling
they
on
do
my
for
sword
it is the
here.
eyelashes.
Yeah, don't worry, Ben. Grant's got it taken care of.
No, yeah, it's all right. I made the assumption here. I was the pig-headed American, cis white male.
See,
I do it all wrong.
Eyelashes and a pink bow in the hair aren't enough
Yeah,
of
they
a
needed
gender
a big
indicator
bow
anymore.
in the hair and giant bosoms. Then I would have known. Then I would have been sure. The
Yeah, why
heels right
isn't
there
she-
were not enough
Yeah,
to tell
where's
me.
the skirt?
Yeah,
Where's the midriff and skirt?
I can't see enough leg. Must
How
be
am
a
I supposed to
dude.
know this is
Oh.
a dame?
Is this what One Piece viewers are like? This makes sense now.
Exactly. Yeah, going from One Piece, there wasn't a super thin waist and giant rack. Must
She
be a
doesn't look
dude.
exactly like Nami.
Anyway, this character's cool, and so is their sumo friend, whose name I also completely remember. If
like
you want to tell it,
Yeah. And I know you're just passing
remember it.
the novelty off to the rest of us to have a chance to show that we remember Sumo's guy's name is
Mhm, mhm,
Ben.
Yeah, what's sumo
I was
fella?
waiting for you. Well, I've already said the other one's name. We should really give this opportunity to Tyler because he knows it.
His name is In Home, named after the real life sumo wrestler.
Wow.
Okay.
There you go. Is there real? I don't know what's that.
But I
Yeah.
was checking out his other works aside from Kagurabachi, and he did a one-off that had the sumo guy as one of the two main characters.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
you were
yeah.
telling me about that. Is that the end of the funny little story? Was there any more
That's the
detail to
end
that?
of not really. Like he was a lot more silly of a character in that, but he one-to-one looks the same.
That's cool.
Yeah, he definitely looks exactly the same. I'm trying to pull that up now.
It
but,
makes me so happy seeing other creators also only have one idea.
Yeah, like if you draw a character and it's like nothing really came of it, just reuse them. I've definitely done that myself.
Tafuku, apparently the name.
Oda does it all the time.
Tafuku. Yeah, I'm still finding that real
Tofuku.
quick. Tafuki.
Fuku, all this magic
Tafu-
shit.
Ku. Tafuku.
Oh, are you
see
looking
that?
for the manga? It's Chain.
Chain? Yep, there it is.
Look,
That's
It's exactly
literally
the same.
him.
Yeah, it is just him, but he's like more of a like jokey. Haha, where's the snacks?
Wait, scroll up.
Where's
That was bootleg Chihiro. Scroll up.
Wait, bootleg Chihiro? That's
There.
right.
right
Yeah.
there.
That guy.
Yeah,
that's kind of
yeah.
a Chihiro face. Yeah.
Yeah, like there's always a Chihiro archetype in every one of his stories.
That's
There's someone
awesome.
with a
Yeah.
sword, dark and brooding.
Genuinely not a problem. I like this. It makes me feel strong when I see other creators
Makes you feel seen.
do the same thing, because Toriyama fucking does it. Takahashi does the same shit. It makes me happy seeing the same like tropes always like redone.
It's like Hayao Miyazaki's like I treat my characters as actors and I just put them in all my different all different things.
Yeah, I think that's a fun way to do it. Like
That's
I
how
like that as
Tezuka
well.
did it. It's like the godfather of this whole fucking thing did the same shit. And it's like,
yeah,
I like it.
that's how you do it.
Work
There's another one
smarter,
that he
not
did.
harder.
I put that in the wrong chat. Whatever.
What chat?
I put it in gay chat.
Pull that up one. Pull that up too.
Just another little one shot he did. Oh, I was hoping it would take you right to the page. But it's like he does the
That's-
same thing where it's just like I got a dark brooding samurai character and they're gonna get imbued with like black aura all around them.
Yeah.
Like, okay, cool, I love it.
Oh yeah. Oh, there's a little goober. Oh yeah. Okay, good. And we got somebody like randomly dying.
He's got a sword.
It's his friend he had to kill.
And I know there is a one shot
me,
by this
sword
guy
house.
that's just called Enten as well, which is the name of
Oh, that's
sword.
the Kagurabachi.
that is the Kagurabachi. So yeah, this guy definitely had this idea and just iterated.
This guy's
upon
definitely
it
got
for a while.
swords on the brain.
It's cool though. It's one of those things. It's like seeing a creator go like, I have this fucking story, and then okay, well that isn't it. Oh, let me try it again. Nope, still didn't feel good. Okay, maybe this version of it will be good.
Yeah, I love seeing that. And that's definitely happened with me, so it's a good it's
Keep
a
going down a little bit.
good validation.
I want you to see the design. No.
Design of what? This guy?
Keep going. No, keep going.
That's cool. I like that.
Oh, that looks
That.
that's pretty cool.
Oh, I think I saw that floating around. That looks like a thing that I have seen.
Oh, I need to how do dang it. I'm accidentally destroying everything. Listen, it's hard to
Moments
center
gone.
this stuff.
Listen, it is right. It's really a pain in the ass. But I mean, we're seeing it. It's fine. Like,
You're getting most of
You're
it.
getting
I'll
most
just
of
zoom
it.
out really far so you can see the
There
full
you go.
two-page
yeah,
spread.
that works.
Indecipherable for anyone.
There, that's close enough, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
God,
you can see it.
can't.
I see it.
A cool two-tone hair.
Feather.
Yeah.
I always love two-tone hair on a character.
It's a great look,
Especially if they become two-tone to activate something.
yeah. But it's a great look. Like I mentioned in manga, the contrast between black and white. The more you can intersperse that with the character design, the better it looks.
Agreed.
Also going back to Kagurabachi, I like that the sumo guy does the sumo thing where, like, hey, my power, I make a yo-yo. You can't leave till someone is knocked out.
Yeah, it's like it's like a domain.
It's like a domain.
It's like a sumo wrestling ring.
It's all
Whoa,
coming
whoa.
up. Jujutsu.
This isn't the Jujutsu Kaisen stuff. Spoilers, guys. We can't talk about that.
Yeah, you don't learn about domains until chapter 300 of Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah, no, first we're going to randomly, it's going to be like Naruto. We're going to randomly introduce an elemental system in Kagurabachi, like 1,000 chapters in.
Yeah.
Which way? I have to put my hand on your head and see which way your chakra's flowing.
Oh yeah, it's like based on which way the hair is growing.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
that how it is?
Yeah. And then Naruto's
Also,
got
I think the spiral on your fingerprint, maybe. I might be wrong about
no,
that.
that sounds right. Ben, the
I
point
don't
is they
think that-
introduced this and then like 5 episodes later it's gone.
That's the bit. Naruto brings up this idea and then really doesn't touch it.
I didn't realize till way after that the whole yin yang thing was introduced.
I'm trying to remember what you're
Yeah,
even
I never
talking
knew
about.
Yin yang chakra too.
I never once heard of that.
But anyways, so our Vegeta character shows up and basically starts going, "Give me your sword. I'm part of the magic police, and we don't want these swords roaming around in civilian hands." And
Chihiro's like, nuh-uh.
Chihiro's like, "Well, my dad made these swords, so I own them more than anyone."
Well, my dad said I can have the swords until dinner.
But I do like it's fun that you actually stopped on this page because this I did really like this, where it's just every time there is a mention of like, if these swords are around, tragedy happens. Like we can't, like they're too powerful to be in untrained hands, basically, or like, you know, like that kind of thing. And like anytime the horrors of the sword are mentioned, Chihiro sees like a flash of Shoujo's face. Like it's still just like it's in his mind. It has affected him clearly that he's like, yeah, these weapons that my dad made like are capable of terrible things, basically.
Yeah.
They're still
and-
weapons.
Yeah, and that's going to be a recurring theme of like what these weapons, like, you know, like we already had Sojo kind of going like, you know what swords are for, right? Like kind of like, and like
Yeah.
Chihiro's got his like to defend the weak thing, and he's like, nah, it's to fucking kill, which is like kind of what his dad also implied. So it's like just him kind of coming to terms with kind of a good man may have made a thing with a good idea and good intention, but it can still do bad.
Yeah, and I like that Sojo's the flash of that for that. It's not just a villain you beat up and stop thinking about. Did Chihiro learn from him?
Yeah, it's a good narrative setup to like constantly like remember, oh yeah, like even though that was like kind of a short thing, that was really fucked up, wasn't it?
Yeah. So they're fighting for the sword. Chihiro's are not sure whether or not he even should just get everything himself. And as he's about to lose, Hakuri, that's his name, I keep forgetting it. Hakuri jumps in and takes the big old punch. He's doing just fine.
Yeah,
and,
that's a One Piece face, Ben.
Like, and yeah, just a great moment of just why'd you do that, and like, cause you saved me. Like, it's like I'm paying it forward, man. You've inspired me to act when I see people need help.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to read this face. Is he like super wide-eyed there?
Yeah,
I
this
think
is
so.
the top of his eye is going behind his hair, but you can see a bit right there. So it's just like
Okay.
that behind his hair.
It is a very One Piece.
Yeah. No, it reminds me of Usopp if we're comparing it to One Piece. So it's a good. Usopp's probably my favorite Straw Hat. I really like a good old weakling.
This
A
guy's
weakling
just as
who's
white as
scared
Usopp.
to be there, but there anyway.
Yeah. So I was gonna say his name again, and I entirely forgot it. It just floats right out of my brain as soon as I say it.
Kagurabachi.
Not Kagura. Anyone who don't know the name of is Hakuri.
Chihiro.
Hakuri. Okay.
I already forgot Vegeta's name.
Yuki. I remember that one.
Hiyuki. Okay.
But Hakuri, I don't know. It just falls out right out of my head.
I feel that.
But okay. So Chihiro's gonna be a traitor if he doesn't go with what the police say.
The magic
Not
police
really
want that
American unless
sword.
You give me the sword.
Doug, you got to be a real American. Give me that sword. Then they have a little anime fight in the sumo dojo.
Yep. Oh, she catches it with her bare hands. That's pretty cool.
And then she catches it, but it's a fake. It's his Nodachi.
It's the other sword.
It's the lame sword, but the real one, he's coming in for the cut.
Those are my favorite type of swords.
Yeah.
It's like longer than
the
a
one you
knife,
put
but
in your
shorter than a
stomach.
sword. Yeah, it's the one you kill
And-
yourself with.
It just really
Yeah.
feels like a sword with no
favorite
purpose
guys?
but that.
But he
Take me
hits her in the head with the back of the blade, and I really like her reaction to it. She is just really offended by the idea that he's not trying to kill her.
Yeah, how dare you do a fucking Kenshin ass move on me and not try to kill me?
I like that it does seem throughout the entire fight like she's just getting driven more and more by emotion. It's just like if she gets mad at something, she's just gonna lash out against that. It doesn't matter whether or not it's helpful to her or if it's part of her mission or not. She just,
Women.
Yeah, always at the behest of their emotions, huh?
exactly.
But
This fight is great.
Yeah, it is a cool fight. Like I feel like I don't really remember a lot of specific detail, but I just remember liking this introduction and thinking it's a strong, like, setting up these two characters as like foils, but they're kind of on the same side. It's just, I like it.
Yeah, but I have no interest in killing you, and follow it up with the immediate "I'll kill you."
Yeah.
No, she's great. I really do like her.
Yeah, I feel like this is a good introduction to her. We had like a brief flash to her at the end of the Sojo stuff, and then I like her little, it's kind of, it's fine, her little big, cool, punchy, flamey thing. I'm just wondering what's the
Her flame torso?
ceiling on that? Do you have a fun wrinkle? Or is it just a big punchy
I mean, it
bone
did
fist?
seem like they never really. I feel like they haven't gotten much more into it. But they're like, use the flame bone up to the torso. So
Yeah.
like maybe if you can use full body,
When she uses the
there's a lot more
skull,
to it.
it's insane, but she can't go back.
I'm wondering if it's going to be like is it going to be like a little skeleton bone armor thing? And she has
It's
like a
her
crazy little
dad's
demon thing.
bones.
It's her dad's bones, like Inuyasha. She goes inside her dad's
Ooh.
bones.
yeah.
Das bones.
And yeah, the sumo guy is just kind of remarking on Chihiro, thinking he's pretty cool. I like that he's just very neutral about the whole
I'm kind of a
situation.
fan of this dude. Maybe we shouldn't kill him.
And Hakuri passes out, which means he lost the competition. And per the rules of his domain, as soon as the competition's over, is when they'll get released back into the real world.
Mm-hmm.
I love that, like, just at the bottom there, you get to see the paintbrush that comes from his fish. So he's just gone.
Oh yeah.
He's whisked away in that moment.
Excellent reading comprehension, Tyler.
Good job.
I didn't notice that.
I didn't either. Actually.
Did you know that that Yuji switched with that one guy in Jujutsu Kaisen?
Whoa.
What?
Switched right.
He did
No.
the switch technique with the one Tojo man.
No, he didn't.
I liked that
Toto.
that panel on the last page at the very bottom with just like the kind of
Holding.
explaining how the thing went away because he passed out, And he's like, I didn't even hit him that hard. He's like, yeah, I know you were holding back. That dude's just super weak. So it's like, poor Hakuri, like, looks like he eats this full-blown blast. And he's just like, I wasn't even trying. Yeah, clearly. That dude's just a puss. It's no big deal.
Yeah, it's great. I like how Hiyuki is just passing out and still, like, just refusing to let her muscles go limp. It's fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I think at some point the sumo guy even says, like, Chihiro could have just attacked me to take down that barrier, and it just didn't.
And he chose to play by the rules because he's a good guy.
Yeah. And now we've got Kiora Sazanami, who's the head of the clan, and he's going to be a bit of an important figure going forward.
Papa Sazanami introduced, and here is his super cool sword. It's all wrapped up in a creepy big rope box.
Yeah.
Something
That's dangerous.
Something I never noticed, really, at least on this page, it says that it was wielded by that master swordsman. Or never mind.
Yeah, they're being cagey about that master
That
swordsman.
man. Oh, look. There's that guy with
He's
the
the
weird
one who
eye.
used
I
that
read
sword.
swordsmith, so I was like, wait, is it implying someone helped make that sword with his dad? But I was misreading it.
But yeah, so now we've kind of got the setup of like, here's the auction house, here's the big item for bid. Our primary characters are kind of all here. And also there's a mysterious swordsmaster chained up at the magic police precinct.
Yep. All right, so let's get into it. We've got a bit of a cool down at home where everyone's catching up with each other.
We get to heal, we get Char to heal our new friend because he's a good guy and she immediately is cool with him.
Yep. Good guys do good things. It's very no ambiguity here. It's just like, yeah, we trust him. He's cool. And now he's going to give them insider info on the Sazanami family and how to get that sword before the Rakuzaichi starts. In the meantime, Hiyuki with the magic police is trying to figure out the same thing, it looks like, because the magic police want the sword too as well. So it's
they're also on the hunt, not only for Chihiro's sword, but the sword that they know is also going to be at this auction.
Yep, three-way fight for it. And I think this is the Magic Police headquarters. Yep, the Kaminabi Tokyo headquarters.
Yeah, that's how you spell magic police in Japanese.
Yeah.
You break it down, it just literally translates to magic police.
And they're talking about how they're going to.
Is this where they reveal that they're like, we're just gonna buy it? We're like, we don't need to stop the auction. We're the freaking magic police. We can afford to just buy it.
We're just gonna use taxpayer money.
Yeah. Yeah, because like I think if they overextend, they're just gonna leave themselves weak and vulnerable to all the.
It's like just great bureaucracy, like shitting on basically of just like, no, we're going to enable these criminals so we don't have to struggle.
Yeah, that's
fine.
pretty much it. And I think Hiyuki's probably like against that a little bit.
Yeah, he clearly not into
yeah,
this idea.
she wanted to try and do she was like, oh, I feel like doing this whole thing with buying it. Probably a bad idea, especially like killing all these people.
Yeah, she's the dissenting opinions. Like, don't encourage this slave
fucking
trade.
auction. Yeah, like, yeah, we'll just have to sit there and nod our heads as people are out here buying women. That's fine.
Yeah, it's just fine.
But hey, as long as we get that crazy sword of mass destruction out of the playing field, it'll be worth it to look the other way on this other stuff.
Yeah, it'd be fine to just let it continue in perpetuity.
Don't be silly. We're the magic police. We can't do anything.
Our hands are tied.
And then
now spend all that taxpayer money.
We just saw that, like, hey, there's a group that has all the other swords, but they're just auctioning off this one.
Yeah. So I think there's a lot of just back and forth, like, oh, they probably want us to buy it because then they can find out where the sword's going.
We gotta stop the auction. If only we could get to the big guy. And I love how quickly it's just like, spam.
Yes, yeah.
Here we are.
The speed of Kagurabachi's pacing of just like, man, I hope we can find the big boss. And then it's like, cut to big boss at his house. And we're like, okay, here's our introduction. So we know who we're going to be chasing for the next dozen chapters. Oh, Chihiro's at his house.
Yep, they're just standing right there. Like Mr. Shiva's just in his chair.
Yeah.
Just like, what took you so long? Yeah.
And so it's really just like, tell us where your auction house is. And it's like kind of like that's a difficult question to answer, ignites his sorcery.
Yeah, and yeah. I appreciate how they set up this thing too, where they might get into it more in this one, where he's clearly like, oh, you guys got me. Ha ha. It's like, yeah, For a second, I was thinking that there was gonna they were gonna just take this guy wasn't a big deal. He was just the powerless bigwig at the top, but
yeah,
didn't go that way. But I was ready for it because of how fast this was going.
But now he's got magic single eye powers like Sans, and so he's gonna be strong.
He's activated his Aronkar power. That's a Bleach reference, guys. I think.
Oh, okay. I didn't know about that.
I understand.
I like even he's got the eye, and Chihiro takes that as sort of whoa, this isn't a fighting stance. I'm literally trying to open the door for you.
Yeah, he's very diplomatic right now, which is good. I like a good standoff like this. Skimming through a bit. Oh, yep, there's the sword. We've got a flashback to Chihiro's dad saying, "Why is that one extra wrapped up?"
And just
crazy.
Can't really talk about that sword.
It's a problem child. He does kind of treat it like children. It's not a bad sword. It's just a little bit different. It needs a little extra care.
Freddy's and their souls of children, Ben.
I mean, that could be it. I mean, we've learned about the stones and stuff that power them, but we don't know how he manages to wield them. So that's just a projection.
Yeah, this isn't
Augmented
the real
reality.
thing. I'm just showing you a preview of what's inside our magic storehouse. And what's the deal with the magic storehouse? Well, if you kill me, it'll close forever, so don't do that.
Yep. So he's definitely holding all the cards in this dynamic, and that's why he's being so diplomatic about everything.
And I like that. I appreciate that we saw Sumo Guy. Sumo Guy introduced us to the concept of, we have weird domain shit in this universe, and then right after that we get. I also have a similar thing. My storehouse is in a weird little bag of holding. You can't really get to it. It's not a real thing.
Yeah.
Got my own little pocket dimension, and that's where I keep the auction items.
Just ramping up the concepts of it a little bit. I like it. And there you get to see all the lovely women and children on display. That's so nice.
Hold on, Ben. The auction's not for another couple chapters.
Yeah, relax, dude.
Yeah,
keep your money in your pocket. You'll get your chance in a minute.
Soon enough.
Hole in his pocket.
Yeah, so basically he's just kind of well, anyway, I'm not going to give this stuff to you, and if you kill me, it all gets locked away forever, including a bunch of innocent people who are in there. So even if your idea was, well, killing you will keep the sword locked away, you're going to be locking away a bunch of people with it. So you sure you want to do that, tough guy? Maybe you should just go get your ticket for the auction. How about that?
I like that we set that on the table this early too, because they cash in the people in the prison so well.
That's a recurring thing.
Yeah, that's the main reason that they're ready to retreat. And just before they do, we've got the super Sazanami squad hopping in.
Yeah, what if all my kids came to fight? The kids who I didn't kick out of the family for being weak.
Yeah, all the cool ones, the ones who weren't lame weaklings. So we learn about that. These are all of Hakuri's older siblings who did much better than him, and they're the big top guards for the Sazanami clan.
The cool ones.
And
cool squad.
But then we one was missing. Why is there only 3 instead of the 4? Then we cut over to Hakuri, and guess what? His older brother's here to pick him up.
I've been
this
looking
guy.
For you.
I love this guy. This guy's great.
Yeah, I don't remember his name, and you're going to tell me, and I'm going to forget in 2 hours. Don't even worry about it. I like Big Brother guy.
His name is Big Brother. Yeah, Big Brother guy. But we got some fighting happening here. Tables have turned. I'm just scrolling
Yeah, I don't
through.
remember if any other big thing happened. They have a little skirmish thing. He does the flashback thing where he talks about, he's like, oh, this sword's a little, it's just got a stank on it.
This is this sword maybe is a little different from the other one. It's the one I can't let anybody use.
We have atom bomb sword, and we have Ebola sword. This one's worse than that. This one's actually
this is
a problem.
social media sword. We cannot let this one get out. It will change everything.
And then Chihiro's like, no, we can't even run at this point. It's too dangerous to be left alone. So that's interesting. And then we're back to Big Brother.
Get the Big Brother coon, and I love that he's just and
kill myself.
We know that Hakuri is not strong, and he would, as soon as he sees his older brother, jump 5 stories instead of dealing with him. I'm that's such a good setup.
And then of course the Big Brother, being a good Big Brother, is make sure to save him. That's very nice.
Yes, thank you, Big Brother.
Hey, you'd be hurt if you fell from here, little bro.
No, I love that he's like caring, but just in a that manipulative, terrible way.
Yeah, he is a gaslighting abuser, basically, of just like no, I love you, and I've just got to hurt you to show that you need to be taught a
Yeah,
lesson.
you're a piece of shit. You need someone like me.
If it wasn't for me loving you, you'd be such a failure.
Don't worry, that woman who tricked you and brainwashed you, don't worry, she's dead now.
Yeah, we'll go kill her.
I made sure to kill her because you felt that sense of love, and that was wrong, probably, most likely. So I had to make sure to kill her.
Hey, this person seems to be familiar with you, and they're not from our family. Are they turning you against us too? Better deal with them.
I love that he started crying over that. It's just like, oh no, you poor child. You've been swayed by people who care about you.
You're not gay for your brother.
I like, look at that. The tears pouring down his face. I just love that.
Yeah, I love a good psycho
Rolling
character.
the snot and everything.
Oh yeah, and Mr. Shiba just pops up because he's
Because he can be anywhere.
Yeah, Shiba's such a fun, just like, we can put him in any scene and it's like, whatever, he can teleport. Like, he
Yeah,
got
of course
there.
he's there.
Like,
Whatever.
The
Yeah.
end.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't he be there? Yeah. Oh, and I love that. It's a very good
I forgot
angle.
that. That's so good.
Yeah.
We're just like, I'm gonna put you up here for a second.
Yeah,
Warps
they
into
just
the sky.
teleport above, like 300 feet above any of the buildings. They're just flying through the air suddenly. Big brother screaming, "I want my little brother back!"
Oh, and I like that.
Chihiro's-
I actually completely forgot that the reason he knew to be there was that he now like immediately texted him as soon as something was fishy, and like he's
Oh,
just like,
yeah.
as soon as I get that signal, I go.
Yeah, they planned that ahead of time. That's good stuff.
We're getting some freaky magic people. We're gonna need someone who can get us in and out of a situation very quickly.
Yep. Yeah, and Chihiro's just gonna hold off the other three on his own for a bit.
And auction host dad seems pretty cool with this situation. He's just like,
He's
whatever.
just chilling.
Wonder how it's gonna go.
He's pretty. He seems pretty used to this kind of thing happening. He can handle it. Some good just throwing people into buildings. So
Not even that. It was just that's a shockwave.
Yeah, that's a ISO is like a, what was it, propulsion type of technique. So that thing that Hakari was going to use at the very beginning, the ISO, that's what that can do if it actually works. Is it just like a huge pressurized blast that just can destroy buildings in front of it? And that seems to be what the family's major technique is. It's just like mainly that.
It seems
Blasting
like
concentrated force.
Dad can summon weapons from his
Yeah, so
storehouse.
Chihiro's fighting a bunch of people, and they just keep summoning weapons out of nothing, and that seems to be because of the dad's doing. So it seems as they're coming from the storehouse. Then he's just got a bunch of weapons in the storehouse, and he can make them appear like he made everything else appear. Chihiro's fighting, then Mr. Shiva shows right back up to help out.
Just like, hey, I'm
Throws the
back
brother
in the
right in the line of fire.
Oh yeah, he brought the big brother to get him away from Hakari.
It made sense for the two of us to fight 4 than for me to fight 1 and for you to fight 3. It's
Yeah.
like the logic.
It's
he was like,
it's
"Oh."
good stuff.
They mentioned Hakari.
But the Hakari's is now what? How did that work? He like brought him into the storehouse and then brought him out here. Is
They
how he
all have,
teleported
like,
him.
A rich. They're my kids, Ben.
Yeah, whatever he owns, he can move around as he sees
Yeah,
fit,
he's
including
he's-
his children.
He's registered to the storehouse. He's been branded.
Yeah, I
as
can
storehouse
retrieve
item.
any item registered to the storehouse right there. Yep.
Like, and that's why they all had to go to the storehouse at some point. It is like his kind of messed up way of registering his kids. So
Yeah,
he
he's got the
recall
GPS
them.
on them.
But
But
Yeah.
he's installed
exactly.
GPS trackers.
At birth,
Find
I
my
threw
phone.
you in there.
Got it.
Anytime you were whining as a kid, I threw you in the storehouse.
Yeah, we got a good parent here.
Yeah, so we just, kind of get to see how this whole family unit's a little messed up.
And so now Hakuri's taken hostage, and it's just like, okay, I'll kill my son if I need to. So, what do you want to do? You want to give me the sword, or what's the deal? So there's that a standoff, and then because Hakuri saved him, Chihiro says, "I'll give you the N10."
Bada boom. We get
So
like
that's a
Hakari has kind of like this moment of like, you were the hero, so I will make a sacrifice for you now.
I love how often this happens in Kagurabachi, where it feels like Chihiro is set back significantly, where other things would take a very long time to make their hero, air quotes, lose. Like, I appreciate that he frequently gets himself into holes, like, to save other people or to, like, because he's trying to do so much and finds a way out of it.
I remember
really
reading
cool.
this, and it was just like, this is his one weapon. Like, this is his only way of fighting all these crazy magicians, and he's just giving it up. So, like, how's this gonna go forward? He's got to take down a whole auction house. It's really good.
Yeah,
and I like
it's
how
a good
he's just
hook.
kind of like he's just kind of accepts it, and he's just like, yeah, well, it's best choice for the situation. Really good.
I'm a fan.
And now the N10 is going up for auction alongside the Shinuchi.
But
Yeah,
don't worry, I wiped some of my cum on the N10 before I gave it to him.
It's got some magic Kagura on it.
I've got my own version of tagging, if you know what I mean.
This thing's been registered to my DNA.
Yeah. So he gave it up, but he's got a plan at least, so that's good. And now we're sitting down with Hiyuki and this sumo guy. I don't ever remember his name. Tafuku. And they're eating spaghetti. Always a good scene.
Also, is this dating when this manga's supposed to take place? He's got a flip phone.
They
Oh,
still do
yeah.
that in Japan.
Well, yeah, like flip phones, like it does feel like, burner phones, that kind of thing. I kind of get that.
Yeah, the
sense.
magic police can't afford to be tracked by Jeff Bezos and the Zuck.
There
Look,
we go,
the
yeah.
Magic Police don't want you to have Facebook on your phone when you're working, so they give you one of these.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a real thing.
Yeah. You can't track burner phones, really. I mean, I guess you kind of can, but not really.
Well, they can, Ben, but they're not going to tell you that they can.
Yeah.
Well, like in our next episode, we'll give you like a 3-part thing on how to avoid the government. But right now in Kagurabachi.
Ready for Reedy or not, the Unabomber Manifesto.
I give it a reading.
Check this one out. Just to make sure your name's.
Yeah.
So now we're kind of like in this like little lull between the auction and all the intensity that had just happened. Of like, so what are we gonna do? How are we approaching
Yep.
this situation?
Nice little palate cleanser. It's just like, okay, what's the plans? What are we doing next?
Look, I
So-
put one of my goldfish on there, and I think I know where it is based off where my goldfish is.
So yeah, he can
Smell it.
send out black goldfish from his sword in order to scope out an area. So he could presumably do that while he's not even touching the
And
sword.
yeah, I don't like, because we already know that like the sword is bound to him, like already. So like,
Yeah, I think we learned that rule at some point that each of the swords are bound until the person dies, until the wielder dies, right?
is that,
Like,
yeah, is
no one
that, I
else
don't know if
can
it's talked
properly
about
use
already,
them.
but we learned about that later at least.
Well, whether or not it happened already, that's one of the rules. They're just bound in some sort of way.
Yeah, like we have the idea that like the magic police either has the sword or the sword's bound user like in captivity for everything but Chihiro's sword.
Yeah, you got the 2 keys to the nuclear weapons.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we got a little diagram saying that Chihiro put his spirit aura into the sword, and so he can summon fish from the sword even though he's detached from it.
And yeah, it's very like, well, that time Sojo remotely used his sword, it was like, a few meters. We don't know where this is. He's like, yeah, whatever. We'll still give it the chance. and we have another
see
I'm
Mr.
shocked
Shiba's-
face.
Just shocked. He's got chills. It's very easy to tell. No, it's funny. And Hakuru's feeling kind of bad because he was used as a hostage and he's pretty weak and dumb.
Look, man, Hakuri, you got everything in place where it needed to be and told us what, like, kind of what the deal was with stuff. So it's all right, man. You helped. It realized it's like, the sword's still his no matter where it is.
Yep, and we do see confirmation because a little fish flies out from the sword, so it's working. And Mr. Sazanami might have noticed. All right. And then we are here already. We're at the auction.
We cut to the auction itself.
I love how
November 8th.
fast it gets to it.
It's just like
Yeah.
bam, bam, bam.
I know it's a thing
they're
I say like
keeping-
all the time, but it's so, I appreciate how brisk this manga is.
Yeah, they're keeping it simple, and that allows it to be super fast and
Yeah.
snappy. So he's definitely got a good balancing act going on with the simplicity versus speed. So everyone's starting to get into the auction house. Chihiro's on posters and wanted.
Yeah, the guards have been informed to specifically look out for a guy who looks like Chihiro. Big reward on his head if he shows up. And since this place is full of criminals, no one's gonna have a problem killing some dude they don't know to get a big payday.
Yep. And so this one criminal is talking with some random guy. It's just like, there's no way that Chihiro Kid would show up. I mean, he doesn't even have the Enten anymore. And
a hero appears.
And then Mr. Inazuma appears.
Yes, bringing back the thing with somebody being wanting to be a hero.
Fired.
So good.
Yeah, so we've got just a little kid in a lightning bolt helmet, and he is entering the den of the
evil.
devil. Yeah. I like that he's just confidently. You know what? If you walk with enough confidence, people will just let you pass by.
Yes.
Do you understand how many anime conventions I've gotten into for free just by confidently walking in like I had something?
I'm supposed to be here. Yeah.
Yes.
So that kid's doing good work. Like somehow he raised enough suspicion from the guard, but
yeah, I like the guard kind of like clearly jokingly doing this because it's a child. One invader, be on alert.
Now this guy's gonna be dangerous. We can tell. Yeah. So I guess if you're wearing a superhero costume, that rule doesn't
They'll
work
let you
as
in.
Yeah,
well.
they'll let you into
Anywhere.
anywhere.
Yeah.
What are they gonna do? Tell you can't come in?
Dude,
You're a
if you're
superhero.
wearing the right costume, you can go in the back of McDonald's and make your own food.
Sometimes they'll even pay you to do it. It's crazy. All you got to do is apply and show up for a certain set of hours, but they'll let you do it.
And then they give you a real cape. But you wear it on the front.
Fun, cute little hero kid kind of reveals tragic of, my sister is here, please release her. So it's like, okay, he is the sibling of a victim of this auction. And who knows if his sister has maybe already been sold or something, for all we know.
Yeah. So we just a good writing device, just make it personal. So we don't have any personal connection to anyone trapped in any of these cages. Now we do. And that's kind of the only role this kid kind of fills, is that he doesn't get very far and he doesn't have much interaction with the main cast, but I think it works.
But I appreciate the taking the time to do stuff like this. Helps the world feel real.
Well, and it also,
absolutely.
emphasizes like this, like, I mean, like we can be told all we want that, like, this criminal organization is bad and they have hurt people, but like we're getting to see victims essentially.
Yeah, the show don't tell.
It adds to the, like, we need to put a stop to this. It's going to be about more than just getting the sword back.
Yeah. Okay, and this is where we definitively see, like, he's got both arms. I remember being like, okay, yeah, fully grown back. And that's actually throwing off the guards now because they don't realize he can heal.
And turns out that guard we saw earlier was talking to our Mr. Cheapa Man.
Yeah, he was just casually giving info because he thought he was another bad guy, Mr. Shiba. Oh yeah, and Chihiro does save the kid, so that's good.
I love that panel there too with the him cutting him. We get like the
And
one
the
shot,
chandelier.
and then so there that perspective, bam, and then the 180 rule, getting the other side, and then the chandelier falling in like one that has such a good sense of motion.
Yeah, he's definitely really good at the action scenes. Like he makes motion just so easy to follow.
Inazuma, does that mean something?
I keep seeing it associated with characters with lightning stuff, so I assume it's like maybe it's some lightning god or maybe just a word for lightning. I'm not exactly sure.
I know it's a whole thing. I don't remember exactly what it is, but yeah, it's a lightning.
I'm dumb because I
thing.
think there was a Tokyo Jungle mission called that or something, and I think I just assumed it meant boss dog.
He's the boss dog,
Inazuma
Mr. Boss Dog.
literally just means lightning.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So makes sense.
That's why.
Oh, and then we get the reveal that Shiro's not using N10, he's using Cloud Gouger.
Yeah, I love this panel. This is so good.
Yeah, I had no clue that was coming. We saw it destroyed, so how
It's like,
how
it's
could
a
he
useless
possibly use
sword.
it?
There's no way.
But then he says May, which is the lightning attack.
Yeah, I don't
So
think I even
we know
pieced
for
that
sure.
together at this panel yet. I was just like, oh, we got a sword back somehow, I guess. All right.
But that's really good. And then
man.
the Rakuzaichi officially begins.
Bada boom, it officially starts. But okay, so now that we're here at the day of the auction, we kind of flash back a little bit because now we're back to November 4th again.
Yep. So they're making their plans. They have a general understanding of how the storehouse works. It can extend pretty much infinitely, so it's definitely a pocket dimension bag of holding type thing. And they're trying to figure out if there is like a door to it in the real world.
Clearly, it's got to have something in the real world.
Yeah, because he's like, well, what if this guy just like dies of a heart attack or in a car crash or something? There's got to be a backup plan, right? And then they're like, oh yeah, I remember seeing the door in there. If we can find this door in real life, then it's real.
Seems simple enough. There was a very identifiable door in there, and there was a door, I think, that looked like that in our house, maybe.
Oh, that door's just a projection.
Ooh.
I do like that we had already gotten to the action, and now it's just like, hey, just so you know, they did. Here's a beep. Here's
We
the talking
did
part of
plan
it all.
Yeah, he's breaking up the
But we wanted to get-
exposition, so it's not all in the same 2-chapter chunk, which is nice.
Yeah.
And scrolling through. Yep, he's Hakuri is making a picture of the door on a notepad so they know what it looks like. And the auction is officially starting. And there we see the doors on the floor in the sub basement of the auction house. So they've got to get all the way down through the basement through that gauntlet in order to get to it.
How are our heroes going to sneak in there?
All right, and then we see that Chihiro is starting to use the Mei from the Cloud Gouger, except the Cloud Gouger definitely is still broken. It is just like 4 inches of a
Barely
blade.
So he's
So
mainly
it's,
just using it as like this. I'm gonna activate its power and use my little sword and go around fucking people up.
It's not a sword, it's his spell-casting wand.
So he's definitely hampered, but it can still do a lot of good stuff. A lot of good action shots here. We got like just pitch black background so that the lightning stands out really clear.
It almost looks like a 3D render there.
He might be using 3D models for these. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, that's a nice modern technique that we get, is that you can just trace over a 3D model and have that be the art.
Get all that detail.
Doesn't work for humans, but for objects like swords, definitely helps. And Yuki's here and ready to fight Chihiro, it looks like. So that's
Magic
fun.
Police steps in and interrupts our heroes yet again. We're kind of busy trying to deal with the real bad guys here, Magic Police. How about you help instead of getting in the way all the time?
And then we've got the rest of the Magic Police are just sitting in the stadium seating, just watching the auction go, and they're just chilling.
They're just here waiting for the item they're gonna bid on. We just gotta wait for the big sword to go up, and then we start, throwing our money around. While Chihiro's throwing his sword into all of these guards.
I like the panel layout for this one. It's got 3 very similar panel sizes, and that shows just how steadily he's moving through them. It's a nice pacing technique. Really enjoy that.
Cool, good slicing.
And we don't even see what Hiyuki's doing, just people falling down around her. That's fun.
Yeah,
this is the 2-page spread.
Our 2 main characters have entered the room and killed everyone between them and just gone, hey, we need to chat. Stuff changed. The plan has shifted.
Yeah, they just plow through everyone else to reach each other. That's fun. Just scrolling through. So I believe they're agreeing to a temporary truce here because it's just better to stop the auction than to fight each other and not make any progress.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think this is he going hey, the higher ups are kind of just cool letting this go. I'm not. So if we kind of work together to stop this, maybe we can just do more good than my technical mission is.
Yeah,
but then after that, I'm kicking your ass and taking the sword.
She still hates him. She's still really mad at him. So I like that. It's just I'm still gonna kill you and take your swords after this. We were talking about definitely reusing panels. We were talking about this before we started the show, but it's that's a technique that feels like it's being used more frequently by modern manga artists. I remember Oda for One Piece saying I always redraw even if it's a flashback because I want the readers to get their money's worth. It doesn't feel genuine. But I do think taking shortcuts is fine. Manga is such a grueling ordeal to make week to week. I think any shortcut that allows it without interfering with the story is just fine to me.
I think flashbacks in particular also, it just seems perfectly fair because it's literally them remembering a moment.
Yeah.
We're just going to see that moment from that perspective again.
Yeah.
It makes sense for it to just be the same image.
Yeah. So we definitely do start seeing that a bit. Love the weird facial expressions she makes when she's upset.
I love them too.
It's
the eyes just rolling in the back of her head.
She's just being made to feel guilty that you're gonna let this go, this thing where this kid risked his life to get in, this thing where I'm doing all this work to try and stop it. You guys, the police, are just gonna let this happen.
A bunch of her facial expressions remind me of Can't remember his name, but the villain from the first arc.
Sojo.
Oh
Sojo.
yeah,
yeah,
Sojo.
very.
Yeah, definitely like that kind of those wild expressions that
For
these
me,
crazy people make.
The face gave me like a vibe of like if this was a different manga, this would be like the school bully, but who has like a heart of gold type thing, where they're just like yeah, I'm an asshole or whatever, but I'll do the right thing, whatever.
Yeah, I can see that. And top.
So now our heroes get to fight on the same side and just kind of tear through this criminal organization. Do
You
their
just
cool
see bodies,
moves.
blood flying everywhere. It's great. Power of friendship.
That's always one of my favorite, like, just things in any story, but particularly I feel like shonen anime, manga, and stuff where it's the begrudging rival finally teaming up. Like that's always a good payoff for me.
And then we see the rest of the plan is while Chihiro's just going in from the front door, Shiba's just teleporting Hakuri and himself down to the bottom to get to the door more quickly.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I do love the setup. Like we kind of glossed over it. I think they talk about it. But the setup of this auction house is like the stage is at the bottom and basically the kids like his children stand guard and kill anyone who approaches the stage.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah,
but
they're
this
all just
time
sitting
we've
in front of
decided
the
to
door.
move it a little bit and we're going to have you guard the door. But normally they are basically there to just obliterate anyone who approaches the stage, which I think is great.
Yeah. We can definitely see that Chihiro's already like influenced a lot of their decision making, so it's good to see how the balance of their power is working out.
They're all aware that Hakuri has turned coat, so he's probably telling them everything he knows.
Which is why they're being put down here. And they're like, Dad didn't give us much information about this, so it just means we need to be ready for anything, is what his goal is probably. And then Hakuri just peeks out the door, is like, oh, oops.
Yeah, they're definitely
Yeah.
here.
I appreciated like the fun little bits of like because this is a very like violent, bloody, people dying left and right thing. I appreciate all the little bits of humor and fun shit they do.
Yeah, and it's very practical too. Obviously, his goal is to draw at least one of them away.
Mhm.
So the idea that he's just like, oh, made a mistake, that's part of the plan, is to make it look like, oh, he's just being a silly little guy.
Yeah, because now we've separated the one crazy brother at least.
And Mr. Shiba can presumably handle the other two, which is why he's just standing behind them now, looking at the door, trying to get in. Just really chill.
Yeah, I love
cool
every
guy.
time they cut away to some panel and he's just there.
Yeah,
Like-
just
like, sure.
he's just allowed to stand wherever he wants. It's great. It really is good. And Chihiro's already made his way down to the basement where Hakuri's running up from the sub basement. So they're meeting each other now.
But something
Yeah,
is
man.
amiss.
Now plants are starting to grow from the floor, and we've already seen that a little bit from chapter 1. So
This was
man.
a fun thing I was not expecting.
Yeah, this feels like let's tip the cap at what's maybe going to be happening after this auction
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
we've got other enemies to maybe figure out exist.
yeah,
Let's
so
establish a ceiling really fast.
yeah, I love that shows do this. Like, it feels like it's one of the things that every shonen mangaka has kind of learned from Dragon Ball, is just like, if you establish a ceiling, things don't spiral too much and people don't complain
Yeah.
in terms of power scaling. So I do appreciate that. And so a huge plant wall grows in between them. We've already seen plants from chapter 1, the magician man that Chihiro's after, or that group of magicians that Chihiro's after. So we can kind of get an idea of what to expect just from the visual imagery alone. And also means Chihiro is separated from Hakuri. And
Why is he bringing up the mantis again? I'm trying to remember what this is referencing.
well, his brother's definitely manipulating Hakuri at this point. Just because someone's nice, you don't take advantage of them. Are you really good with that? So I think it's the idea that if Hakuri's coming to terms with, if he doesn't carry his own weight, then he's just taking advantage of his friends.
I think it's implying that his I was about to say his pet scorpion broke up with him because he wasn't confident in himself.
When they refer to the because the praying mantis does this thing, it's like a posturing gesture to like, hey, back off, buddy, like fuck off, and then immediately he remembers like he's like remembering that the spirit of the samurai thing, why he's doing this whole thing, because right after this he does the Iso thing.
He
Yeah, so
unlocks his power.
I think he's associating the grasshopper with Chihiro because they're both the samurai to him. And,
Yes, the grasshopper.
Is it a grasshopper? Okay.
Mantis.
The praying mantis.
Look, man, bugs are hard.
Yeah, they're hard.
They all taste the same. It's whatever.
They do taste like crab.
Is it like, wait, is this like his Jiminy Cricket? Is this his conscious?
Yes,
saying,
this
like,
is
just because someone's
This
nice,
is
you don't
his
take
Jiminy
advantage?
Cricket.
Yeah, this is Jiminy Cricket.
Well,
Praying
like
mantis.
we did see, like in like
It's
at the
hyper realistic Jiminy Cricket.
his introduction at the very beginning was him talking about his pet mantis, Samurai, and how he lost him. And so, like, is that supposed to be like, you know, maybe
Symbology
this is the,
for
yeah,
how he
like
lost his courage and all
yeah,
that?
like he gave up and ran away.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
I like it being a mantis is it's the whole thing.
makes-
It's the whole thing here. With the,
Yeah, it's so
the
cool
praying
whenever
mantis
at the
puts
end of
its
the
arms
arc
up.
he's like he won and everything. He picks up the mantis at the end. He's like, yeah, now I'm me again.
But yeah, like so the mantis basically doing the get up, like, come on, let's fight. I put up my dukes.
Yeah, he's putting up his okay, I get that now. That's good reading comprehension. I like that.
Oda would be proud.
Listen, I don't pick up on this stuff as easily. Metaphor is actually something I genuinely struggle with sometimes.
It's I mean, see, look at the next page. He does it. He does the ESO thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I understood like his words and his like emotion, the emotional aspect of it. So I definitely got that.
Well, let's go back 32 seconds.
But but Hakuri is ready to take on his older brother, which he's always run from before. But 32 seconds ago is when they first got separated. He's
So
taking
now
out
who's
some
Chihiro dealing
some
with?
trash
He messed
mob.
with a bunch of minions, and he should just be able to slice up this guy. He just seems like another minion, dude.
Yeah, he's just another dude. But then
Oh, but he's got the tattoo!
the chapter ends with the tattoo, the one he
Dun, dun,
remembers from the people
dun.
who killed his daddy.
Dun, dun, dun.
The people that killed his daddy and the people who we saw in like the first chapter, like growing a plant
A
in that
tree
guy's
out of a man.
in that guy's face.
Yep. So it's all coming together. This guy's one of the main bad guys.
Like, overarching lore dropping.
Yep.
He could have a little info on where the swords are, or who the big bad guy could be.
Yeah, exactly. Say if it's that tattoo of that man from that day.
Yes.
With that power.
I do like his tattoos.
Yeah, it's a good look. He's
His face.
that
Is
little bit of weirdness with the tattoos, but otherwise really formally dressed and calm and composed look.
can't
Okay,
wait till he,
looking
like-
at it, is it like an 8 with like a thing sticking out of it, or is it like a little man holding up a sword? Like you see, it's got like legs and then arms up, and then the sword going up where the finger is.
Ooh. Mm.
It's two eyeballs going like, whoa.
Like yowza, hot lady in that direction.
I have no idea what that symbol is. Two crescent moons.
You don't know,
Well,
Ben?
yeah,
They
well,
killed
what
your
he-
dad.
What he did is they cut the moon whenever it's in its crescent form, and that's how it's shaped when it looks like that.
Oh yes, it's a rabbit
and then,
pounding
and then
mochi.
he folded it out after
Okay.
doing that.
Oh, it's like yeah, like a little snowflake.
Yeah, I really don't know what to make of that symbol though.
But yeah, the way this guy's talking, he knows who Chihiro is and is aware of
Yeah,
the
you've really
history.
grown up, so he knows what the deal is.
And this is like the most kind of emotional we've seen Chihiro's face get all series.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which makes sense. Yeah, and you can see there's like there's this one panel that's just nothing is where you see from outside, but when you see inside his head, there's just so many different
Mm-mm.
thoughts rushing through
There's
his
a
head, and,
rush.
you can,
But there's only one that matters.
and the
The
Hishaku is a group of magicians that killed his dad. So,
The magic yakuza.
yes, and he's the leader. So that's pretty important.
Yeah, I do like the very straightforward. Yeah, I'm the leader. I'm literally responsible for the murder of your father.
Yeah, I'm the big bad guy. Remember me?
Like, what up? Remember how this story was about you getting revenge and we've kind of gotten sidetracked? Hi.
Hey, by the way, this is a shonen manga. We should stop fighting or stop talking and start fighting.
Yeah, and immediately just gets the upper hand on Chihiro. Appears immediately behind him. Just fighting.
Takes
A
all
a
little
this-
lovey
step out
dovey
of
touches his
Inception.
hand.
He's just kicking him too. Like he's fighting a guy with two swords, and he's just kicking him away. And Chihiro gets knocked into the plants and starts getting absorbed by them.
He's like, "Hey, man, you better level up."
Yeah, I forget. Does he just let him go? Is he just like, whatever, man, you're small fry?
I think it continues
enjoy
on a
the
little bit
action.
further from here. I'm trying to remember exactly what happened with that.
Why did you? Yeah, this whole I love this whole bit where you see all these like every little thing bubbling up, all these words and shit, and then you get this the one panel of the the goldfish bowl.
Yeah, so it's just a couple panels of just his internal thoughts, and the way they're arranged and everything is clearly just his mind is swirling with all these different questions, and then he asks the only one that really matters is just why. It's very good stuff.
Why'd you kill my papa?
Just appreciate the way he lays out everything. It's really cool.
It's good.
And let's see what's going on with that.
And it's just so I can get the scary sword.
He wants the big
all those
cool
other
sword.
swords, yeah, gave us an advantage in the war, but this one won us the war.
Yeah, so it's all for the Shinuchi, which is on auction. So that's the big bad scary sword that the bad guy wants. That's why he put it up for auction, is to draw out the magic police, I believe.
Yes, because they have the sword's wielder, and he's like, we can't do anything as long as the wielder is being held. So if
I can use it.
If I can get to them, I can get to the wielder, and if I can get to the wielder, then I can use the sword.
Yep. So it's all coming together. That's why this is all happening.
And it's too bad your revenge quest has to end here, because I'm a super powerful wizard, evil villain man, and I'm gonna kill you.
The dichotomy of the blades need to be stopped versus the blades are special to me. It's just like, okay, just it's a continuous thing of just like, these are weapons, but they're also meant for good. Continuing on with that thematic.
They're also precious to me.
Through line. Yep. And he's gonna use up the last of Cloud Gouger's power in order to beat him up.
He needs to gouge them clouds one last time. One last hurrah for the old Cloud Gouger.
Yep. And he's saying, die is mine at my side. So he's using up the last of it, but at the very least, it's going to be going towards something good.
Mm-hmm.
And he managed to break out of the tree, and he cuts off one of the guy's hands. That's pretty cool.
Now he can take his tattoo and he can.
Yeah, he doesn't have his tattoo anymore. He's not part of the gang. He's out.
Now I'm the king.
Yeah, now I have the leader tattoo. He says, holding his hand.
I have right to all those swords.
And he doesn't seem particularly fazed by it, so that's fun.
Yeah, it definitely feels like the villain who's like, all right, I'm willing to have this setback because you seem interesting. Bye.
Yeah, just cool art. I'm just like, I keep like pausing, being like, oh, that's cool. That's cool.
Like, that's right. This looks real cool.
It is, though. It's good.
Yeah, we have kind of a lot of action going on side by side. We've also got Hikari and his brother, Hikari. I'm never going to say
Hikaru, he plays Go.
Yeah.
Hikaru, no Go. You had to stop.
And his brother is manipulating him again, saying, oh, Chihiro's just going to abandon you, but I'm your brother. I'm nice to you most of the time.
Blood lasts forever, man. You can't get away from us.
And here we have Shiba, who's already a skilled magician, teaching Hakuri, like, oh, what's the deal? Why can't you use magic? He's saying, like, oh, you've already actually got a lot of good energies and stuff going with you. You just can't seem to use it right. And it probably doesn't help that as like when you were 11, you got kicked out of magic school because they didn't like you or something.
Yeah, it really seems like you've got a ton of magic power, but it's like there's this weird, I don't know, like a big wad of trauma keeping it from going.
Yeah, I don't know. Whenever your brother beats you up, you just seem to not be able to use magic as good. And so he finally manages to get out a little bit of an ESO there, so he pushes his brother away, which is definitely a lot better than he's ever been able to do before.
That part's so good. I love when he actually gets it. And then this whole like little bit where he's like, hold on, and like it kind of like they do the fun little thing too with like everybody's kind of smart in this. I like smart characters, and it's like everybody's a little smart. And then you see, the wall's cracking a little bit. That means that there's no way Chihiro's gonna lose. He's gonna bust through. This is gonna be fine. Okay, well, he's gonna come in and kablamo.
Yeah, so he hit him against the wall just at the right timing because he knew that's when Chihiro would bust through. I love that.
I maybe can't stop you alone, but if we work together, we got it.
And Chihiro decided to do that rather than attack the head of the Hisachu.
He gave up his only
Because he
lead.
knows he could leave it to someone else up those stairs.
Oh yeah, we're definitely seeing some high heels up there.
I'm seeing some flame bone up to that bone.
Maybe evil big boss wizard might have someone else to deal with for a second.
It looks like it doesn't matter. His arms is back on.
Is it back on?
Well, go over again. Yeah.
Oh wait, where am I?
Yeah, he's definitely making hand signs with it. At least.
Yeah. What? Is he maybe holding up his severed hand with it? I don't know.
That would be cool, actually.
Yeah.
We don't really get to see it in the panel.
Oh, man,
It kind of
I
looks like
can see
he
that.
is just having to hold his hand up like that.
I think he
With
might
his
be.
left.
It's hard to tell, like, because that's the only shot we see of it.
And he is holding his hand every panel up until.
I think it's intentional that it's mysterious because like look at the way he's holding his hand
think
here.
he's
It's
holding
just,
his
like,
hand.
just out of shot.
Yeah, I think he's just holding his hand.
Because that's like there's little bloody drips up there. Like,
But I bet he's gonna have it attached again. It seems like he
Oh, of
just
course.
sacrificed it, and he's just like, yeah, it doesn't matter. This isn't even my real body. This is my real form.
Yeah, it's just always off panel, which makes me think there's something mysterious about
Look,
it that's gonna be revealed later.
I'm plant guy. I'm just gonna regrow it. Shut up.
Yeah. So he's gone now. He's disappeared before he could get attacked anymore.
And the auction's still going. Everyone's going wild for the stuff that's being auctioned off.
Yep. And then we have another little flashback to Hakuri and his younger brother, I think it is.
I don't know if Hakuri's the youngest or if he is.
I think
They
this
look
is the
very similar in
funnest
age.
thing they've done with the paneling so far, which
Yeah,
I like
that's-
this.
So
yeah, that's real
cool.
cool.
Yeah. Yeah, just the flashback of him being taught like these terrible lessons being burned away by Mr. Shiba's lighter. And then the reveal is that Mr. Shiba is definitely taking him down and is holding a cigarette right in front of his eye saying, hey, let me get into the door here.
He might be more special than just teleporting. He was able to take out the top dogs with ease. There's not a scratch on him.
Like, you guys are supposed to be the toughest, right? So can you just let me in now?
Is he supposed to be our Gojo?
He does seem fairly untouchable with how he can just warp around.
Yeah. He's one of the stronger ones. Okay, yeah, my brother who's 1 year older, Hakuri, so he's
Okay,
so
he's younger.
this Hakuri's younger brother is who we start focusing on now.
And Hakuri is not special. He is a failure. Like, we're kind of getting that reinforced. Like, all of these all these siblings, their whole thing is just based on kind of how powerful they are and how useful they are to the family, and that is all your value is.
Yeah. And of course some good gaslighting. Well, it's not favoritism. You just tried
just turned
really
out the
hard, and that's
best.
why you got ahead. It's all because of your efforts. It's not because I'm favoritisming everyone. So we've got a bit of so he's kind of obsessed with doing whatever his dad says, and so now he's doing that.
Go back a little bit because he's revealing a fun little weapon from that guy from last season last arc. Made
Oh,
this
is that
little-
what- Yeah, that's
it's
what that is,
Gojo's
Sojo.
little magic rock.
Yeah, so Sojo's
Sojo's,
magic rock
whatever.
that killed him in the last arc is now being used by Hakuri's younger brother.
It's like
Because-
is it the material the swords are made out of or something? Is that
Yeah,
what it was?
they like
Yes.
refined
Yeah.
that rock into the
Yeah.
swords.
And it's
Nobody
just, we
knows
haven't-
how to refine it into the swords aside from Chihiro's dad.
Yeah.
It just kind of kills everyone else because it uses up too much of their magical power.
Anyway, I gave this accursed thing to my beloved son. Please use
And
this to
then
defend
said,
our
yeah,
thing.
defend it to the death is what he's saying right here. So clearly, this is good parenting.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, use the rock that'll kill you to defend until you die.
To defend
And-
our slave auction.
So we're definitely getting like this younger brother of Hakuri is kind of a victim of circumstance because his dad is just manipulating him into killing himself to defend this. And then we've got Hakuri still fighting his older brother.
Squad all working together,
That part's-
stepping up.
Part's great. I love Hakuri like coming into his own because the first time we see him, he's such a dweeb.
Yeah. I really do love like the whole underdog coming to terms with themselves idea. So the fact that he's able to fight at all with his older brother is great, and it still continues. And then we have a flashback to Hakuri and his younger brother talking to their dad, and he's like, "Oh, one of you is probably going to inherit my storehouse someday, and it's important that we always make sure the Rakuzaichi's going, even if it kills us."
It's a pretty
Yeah.
poggers tradition in our family.
I like again, just kind of like the peak of the manipulation here of just like hey, the only reason we're able to do all this magic stuff isn't because like it can be passed down by some magic thing. It's because of our bond, because we love each other, right, family? And it's
Yeah.
just like, my son, who I will
Yeah.
send to his death without thinking about it or having any feelings.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely like it without the context. The scene would be really wholesome, and so it's very easy to tell how they can get taken in by that. But it's very clear that he's just entirely manipulative, and so it's giving context to both Hakuri and also the younger brother who's sacrificing himself, and also the older brother who's kind of like just taking on the gaslighting ways of his dad. It's a very very good flashback to have right in the middle of this three-way conflict.
And is this like, we still haven't gone into like the actual story, but is this the second mention that the brothers had of like that woman who tricked you, basically? Like, we still don't really know who he's talking about, but we have had mention of like, ever since that woman got in your head, you've not been able to be part of the family.
Yeah, it was pretty clear from the beginning that there's just like one woman he met who showed Hakurei the light, and that's why he left. And so we haven't seen any more of that before this point. Got some good fightings. I'm just trying to skim through all this.
Oh, is this him revealing that he can now start taking stuff out of the auction? Or no, never mind. Sorry.
Right now his dad is giving Hakurei's younger brother access to the swords. So, and now Chihiro's joining the fight against the younger brother.
I do like him just like, here's the swords in front of me. I'm going to use Iso just to launch them.
That is cool. And Chihiro's leaving Hakurei to fight on his own, so that's a choice of confidence there. That's nice. And Chihiro is going to kill the younger brother, who's going to die anyway, so he might as well fight him and kill him with an honorable death. That's fun.
Look, man, he's got magic rock disease. We're gonna have to stop it. And now little brother Hakurei and big brother Abuser pushing their Isos against each other. Who's is bigger?
Yeah. Skimming through a lot
Both
of
in
this
the
is
pool
mostly
making waves.
action.
Who's
But
going to make the biggest wave?
Yeah, I mean, this is mostly action stuff, but this part is good.
Now we've got this is the Black Pages. This is the girl with
official
icy
flashback
skin
Is
territory.
the flashback.
so good.
God, it's very simple, but I don't know. It's just so well done. I really appreciate it.
Yeah,
Like he's coming in, he's giving her food because she's one of the slaves that's going to be auctioned away, and she needs to stay alive, so she needs to eat. She's saying she won't eat anything, and so he has to convince her somehow. And she's like, okay, why don't we eat together and talk? I think that's how it generally goes out, right?
Yeah, like it's just like, hey, well, if I have someone to talk to, maybe I'll eat.
I like this thing with showing with his brother. It's like, oh,
Yeah,
he doesn't usually
setting
use tools.
Yeah, like
This is important. I like this setup specifically because this comes back later.
Yeah,
it's
where
like,
it's like, hey man, all those tools are just lost. I don't know where they're gone.
yeah, Big Brother always loses all these tools. He's lost everything that he uses to torture me with.
My silly brother, such a scatterbrain.
Yeah, and he's just like, he doesn't always use tools. He's usually a lot nicer, and it's just like giving him not the benefit of the doubt. He's just forgiving him for a lot of the abuse because that's just how it works.
And then we find out is that like he's after his brother beats him up, and to deal with it, he's developed pica, and he's been eating all the tools his brother's been beating him with.
Like, I always thought it's like, okay, well, I think like his reasoning was like he always loses the tools, which means he doesn't like using them. He probably just throws them away and says he lost them.
I'm sure Big Brother just feels bad about it.
He cares.
And of course, she's got icy skin, so she's able to treat his wounds a little bit, or at least make him feel a bit better, put ice on him. So
and the girl who gets isolated and doesn't have, she's like, oh, I'm already a prisoner of my own.
Isolated. I get it. Oh, that's good.
That's reading comprehension.
Exactly. I'll be here to fill y'all in.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh my god.
But yeah. It's just a really nice conversation between the two as they kind of just open up to each other bit by bit.
She's like also able to immediately cut through it of just like, your family doesn't like you, do they? Like you're the one they send down here. They don't really seem to trust you with anything. Like you're kind of like, no one likes you, huh? And he's like, what? Like, it's just I'm bad. It's because I'm useless.
It's my own fault because I'm useless, he says. Ah, man. Like all this just feels so real. All the dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually she starts eating more as he hangs out with her more and talks to her more. He still gets beat up, and he comes back extra bruised, and it's just like, the beating kind of just happened longer than usual. Sorry for the hold up. You know how beatings go on too long sometimes.
I'm just here to do my job.
And it just seems like they've become genuine friends. She's just saying, why do you let them do this to you? And it's like, I don't know, I just suck too much. I'm sorry.
It's genuinely my fault.
It's because I'm the worst that everyone has to beat me up to knock some sense into me. And if I was just a little better, they wouldn't have to hit me so hard.
And it feels obvious to point this out, but whenever it's showing it from her point of view, and from her point of view, the bars are covering him.
Mm-hmm.
So it's they're both just prisoners trapped together.
She's like, "Hey, you've got value. You've kind of given me someone to talk to. You've made this nightmare at least something. You've given me something to have."
And then he so that was the final breaking point. He has the key now, and he is going to break her out of there.
They're gonna get away and live a happy life.
Yeah, they didn't already say she was dead, so it's going to work out fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cut back to immediately after we had seen the brother face off, and Hakari has been demolished. Like
Yeah.
turns out there was barely any competition. Yes, he was awakening his power finally, but still not ready to face off Big Bro.
Yep. And with that reveal, you can tell just like with the pacing of it, okay, mood's going way down. What's happening? And so now Ice Skin Girl has just got a knife to her own neck. It's like, I can't live like this. I'm not going to be able to escape like this. What was her reasoning again?
Everybody's gonna sell me off at one point or another. My last husband said that he loved me and wouldn't do it, but he did, and you're just gonna do the same in 2 months.
Yeah.
In 3 days.
Because I'm a weirdo. I have ice skin. I'm a cold bitch to everyone I meet.
Whoa.
That's pretty
Okay, yeah.
confident.
So that is a kind of trend. It's like, because like Shara's mom, a very similar thing. The person I love the most ended up betraying me.
Yes.
And so it feels like,
Because I was different.
yeah, I wonder if this is going to be something that's expanded on sooner or later, because I'm wondering, is there going to be like some big, I don't know, some big thematic thing other than just like you should have just trusted Chihiro. That's what you should have done. Like, there's got to be more to this theme that's going to be expanded on later, right?
Yeah, I imagine so. I mean, we haven't seen anything with his mom either.
Yeah.
Maybe she's like, weird. You have you build
Kagurabachi.
swords, and swords are tools of death. I'm not about that.
Yeah. Man, I wonder. Like, I just started thinking about this just now, because it's like, it's definitely a pattern that's being set up now, and so I wonder what the payoff for that's going to be. I haven't really thought about that, so I don't have any ideas right now.
Once we get weekly, we can start our theorizing section.
Yeah. Once I have some time to think about this.
I can't wait for theory crafting.
A theory or not.
But yeah, basically the reveal is her plan all along was like, yeah, I need to talk you into getting me to escape so I can get out and kill myself, because I don't want to live here anymore. And it's just this brutal, like, now he not only just feels terrible because of the abuse of his family, but the one person who seemed like was like reaching out and being a light to him was also kind of using him. But he is just reading it as I killed her, I did this was my fault.
Yeah, he's still heaping blame on himself. Like, man, it's just hard to see that. And then as Big Brother's walking away from his unconscious body, we see some pliers that were used to torture him in the past. That's weird.
Where did those come from? Glad you could find them.
Great pacing of reveal. I really enjoy this.
Bet you didn't think the one
36 episode. Oh, sorry, good.
Yeah, I bet you didn't think 36 chapters in we were going to go ahead and see flat top guy again with his exploding Dharmakas or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just he'd used as an example. He's long gone from this world, but not forgotten.
Yeah, I just love that it's like, hey, don't worry about it. We'll explain the power system and stuff later. 36 chapters later. It's been great till then. We didn't need anything. We don't need it now, but it's like, here's a moment of it.
Yeah, I mean, well, so far we've only had to deal with a master of magic and a guy who just uses swords, so it makes sense that it's like, okay, let's just save it for when it becomes relevant. So the idea here is that you've got all the magic power, you just don't know how to use it yet. You need to kind of just test things out and figure out why magic works a certain way for you specifically. Just like if you haven't had the chance to test out, your magic might be different than someone else's. Who knows?
You just got to figure out what your magic is, how you do it.
And then we start seeing the same kind of bubbling effect that the big Sazanami Papa set was using to summon swords. Now it's summoning all the different tools that was used that disappeared in the flashback. So it's becoming more and more apparent, and that Hakari has his own little storehouse. He's the first one in his family to actually just like have the power on his own rather than inherit it through a ceremony through his parents, which is presumably why he was.
He's a natural genius, like the predecessor.
he naturally has access to the
original
Kake Genkai.
Sazanami, yeah. And
Is Keke
that,
Genkai?
that was probably why he was isolated, right? Is they thought he might have this power, and they're like, oh, that destroys the balance of things. We can't let him learn any more magic. That was my interpretation of it.
Well, I mean, later, the dad even admits, like, I'm sorry I didn't take the time to truly, like, understand you, but I have to view you as an enemy right now. Like, I didn't see that you had all this potential in you, but right now that doesn't matter.
Yeah,
so maybe they just
I think it's kind of
misunderstood.
backwards. Yeah, I think it's like this power was there the whole time, and they just couldn't see it because they only saw him as a failure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he couldn't
yeah,
do the other thing good because he was so good at this.
Yeah, he couldn't do the ISO good because his best power was this one. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, and that's what they're kind of explaining here.
Yeah, and like Mr. Shiba, who knew him for all of a few days, was able to kind of look at him and go like, no, you're going to be a great sorcerer. You just got to figure out what your thing is.
Yeah. Again, it's just like, okay, he's just being held within this tiny little cage of reasoning. Is like, well, if you can't do the ISO, you're useless. And
you don't know how to do the fighting power, so there's no way you're going to know how to do the opening up the secret parallel dimension storehouse power.
And thank God, I'm happy that this character who was useless until they could do the thing can do the thing, thus proving that you are useless unless you can do things.
No, yeah, you only have value when you have your power.
You only have value when you can do whatever power it is that you're good at. How
You
about
only
that?
have value when All Might gives you something.
Yeah, you just need to have a superpower, and then you get to be a superhero. It's the only thing that gets you there.
The lesson is you got to be good at your own thing. Yeah,
this is
I know. It's like you may not be good at what you're supposed to be good at, but as long as you're good at something, you have value.
Exactly.
Well, I think most people are good at something, so it's probably a good lesson.
I'm gonna beat you to an inch of your life
Until
to
you figure out
what
your
that
power.
good thing is.
Yeah, and now our loving brother, who has said he's done nothing but love his little brother or whatever, is so mad that he has this power.
Yeah, he's intimidated. He's scared. He's like,
you're not special. The important part of our relationship is how I'm big and you're weak. Like it's like the great, like, you know, you don't deserve this thing. And I'm into it. I like that dynamic.
yeah. So he totally snaps as soon as he learns he's not on the top of this power dynamic. And he can still do the ISO too. So that's what he uses to finish off the older brother here.
Yeah. Like, surprise, I still also have that power too. Bam.
And Chihiro's fighting younger brother still. And he's using up, I think, probably what's the last of Cloud Goucher. They said, yep, only one left. He can only use the lightning power one more time. And he uses that to cut him up all over the place.
Zap lil bro.
Or I think he was about to, but then he just started exploding.
Oh, is that what happened? It could, yeah.
Yeah, it does look like, because that doesn't really look like, well, no, he does have a lot of slashes on him. So
It looks like he's pulling the sword back right here.
Yeah, it's just about to hit his neck, but then you start to see the bulging all over, and it just already starts exploding.
Okay, yeah, so, yeah, that's probably it.
All right, so they finally have access to the door. We're getting to
Good.
the end.
Our main character's not a murderer, thank God.
He's definitely murdered plenty of people, so
What? Show me a name. Give me
yeah,
one name.
as long as they're not named, it's fine. Yeah,
He's
they're not
killed a
real
bunch of
people if they don't have names.
Nobody henchmen.
Yeah, so now Chihiro and Hakuri are equals according to Chihiro. Very good stuff.
Yeah, because now you have a power, so I can look you in the eye. And so now it's time for us to get into that storehouse.
It's all used up now.
But unfortunately, the door's been broken.
Has been broken all along. We realized that the Sazanami father who said to lay down your lives to protect it, just kind of had them die for nothing. just to distract the Chihiro gang.
Yeah, and so they died for nothing, and the dad's like, no, they died to reveal you, haha.
Oh man.
Just doubling down on this dad's a real piece of shit. And just a monster kind of through and
the
through.
auction.
Well, I mean, it is like your family's whole business. The whole thing comes crashing down if this auction doesn't go over.
Yeah, I mean that's how he was raised too. It's a generational thing, and this again feels just like really very real piece of dialogue. I just wanted you to praise me.
Yeah, like even though I knew what we were doing was wrong, I still just wanted you to be happy that I was able to do it, kind of thing.
Yep. And
He was able to connect his storehouse to his father's, or at
Yeah,
least send
so-
something into his father's storehouse.
So now it is revealed that he for sure has access to the storehouse and can start sending things there. So perhaps Chihiro, I can get you in there.
He can't do anything with the items in there, but he can send someone else in there. So that's the first step of their counterattack, is that Chihiro can get inside and get his N10.
Get your sword so you're not fighting as like a nerfed version of yourself who's already kicking ass in every direction.
Yeah. Well, I think Cloud Gadget's officially out at this point, or at least...
Yeah.
I loved this whole moment. It's like, it's already broken and everything, but, you know, he's the master of his own reality. His swords are his.
Yep. And this, and because he's the master of the storehouse realm, like, he can just manipulate everything inside of it, including the ground, and make big old tentacles things out of it. Okay, now Cloud Gouger is at the very, very, very end of its life, and he's like, okay, one more lightning blast.
Now, I like that the idea that it was already fucked up and at 0, and he's like, nah, no, you're not. Get your ass up.
You can just bring out a little bit more. Great art here. Just like the black background
cool
really helps a lot with the lightning effects. It's really good. And now it's like even the hilt is just dissolves away.
Now, the sword dissolves into dust. It's gonna be hard to get one more use out of it at this point.
Hang on, I think I got one.
He picks up the dust and makes one more.
Oh man, okay, yeah. In my
snorts
Kagurabachi abridged, he would definitely be holding the sword, and then there'd just be a sound, and it'd be gone.
Yep.
Kagura Bridge, Grant's right there.
Yeah. Oh, damn,
He's
you're right.
doing it. He's doing Kagurabachi right there.
He's
Yeah,
doing
then he
Kagurabachi!
But now he's got his Kagurabachi sword back, so he can Kagurabachi all over this guy's dad.
Yeah, he's botching the Kagura. He's got his N10 back. All right. Yeah, let's see.
Now we are cooking. Chihiro is ready to fight.
So they're talking about how he's going to be able to get stuff out of there, and the idea is that because he registered Chihiro to his own storehouse, he's allowed to take him out of any storehouse now. And so if Chihiro puts his energy into anything else, he's also allowed to take those out. So Chihiro basically just has to touch anything in the storehouse, and at that point, Hakari can take control of it and take it out of the storehouse.
Mhm.
So that's the win condition there.
Basically, anything with your energy signature, I can move.
Yes. So the win condition is Chihiro has to touch everything they want to get out of the storehouse, including all the hostages.
So we're just gonna need you to run through and touch everybody, or send a big old school of fish.
Yeah, he can. Was it shred is where he's just like separating all his energy into
Yeah.
all the different little pieces. So these are all just a whole bunch of black goldfish swimming all over the place while he fights. What was his name again? I keep calling him the father of
Mr. Sazanami.
Yeah, Papa
Mr.
Sazanami. I
Sazanami.
don't know what his actual first name was, but
Kiora.
Sealer.
Kiora. Okay, so he's gonna attack Kiora while his fish all touch all the people.
I don't even think we get to find that out yet. It looked like he was just going to do that big fish attack, and then he just jumps through.
I'm going to leave an angry comment about how Ben spoiled it.
Oh no, I'm so sorry. Well, the pieces
revealed.
are
I'm just gonna
there.
have it.
I'm
5 minutes
shaking
later.
my
See,
fist over.
The pieces are all there. What you need is reading comprehension. As soon as you can figure that part out.
Ben, I'm so
Also,
happy
I
you
love
don't
that he
have
keeps-
such a vendetta like I do.
I love that he keeps grenades in the storehouse.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, he just has like buckets full of weapons, right? And that's just like, okay.
Anything we could need in a situation at a blink, we're gonna have it here. So I'm gonna throw these grenades at you. And I loved this part. This is maybe like my moment of the arc, of the throwing all of these grenades. Like, all right, tough guy, what are you gonna do about this? What, you're gonna hit them all with your sword? That don't matter. They're still gonna blow up. And then it's just like, actually, by hitting them with the sword, I've put my energy in them, so our boy can move them wherever he wants, like into this crowd full of criminals.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's great.
Like that panel right there. I fucking love.
Yes,
That's so good.
I love him
And
sitting there too. Like,
yeah, he's just sitting there so tired, but he's still blowing up everyone around him. It's the quintessential cool guys don't look at explosions kind of thing.
He's using all focus.
But I also love like the fallout of this is not like people evacuating the auction. It's just these psycho criminals just being like, well, this is getting intense. Let's move in closer.
Yeah, like it's interesting. Like the Rakuzaichi is just like, okay, they can deal with it. Like I guess like the idea is just that they've dedicated their entire clan to making sure this auction goes off without a hitch. So it's just like, well, we trust the process. We understand the system. Some people might blow up, but this thing's still going to continue. And they're going to figure it out.
There's some real high priority items on this list, and we got some psycho criminals in this audience. Someone's probably going to die. It's just the Rakuzaichi. That's just how it goes.
Yeah.
They make sure, like, I like that it sets the precedent, too, that this world, because, you know, you saw at the beginning when he goes to the city and the Yakuza had these people stringed up and shit. Like, you know, this crazy shit happens at this place.
Yeah. You know, just some people die sometimes. It happens. You walk down the street, sometimes you get strung up by the Yakuza. It happens.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and he moves up, and now they're just going straight to the Shinichi just because, like, hey, people are dying. Don't want you to escape. Don't want you to leave before it's over. So let's just keep the main event going.
I don't want the richest person here to die before this. I know
there's bombs blowing up, but what if we put the high ticket item on sale? And it's just like, well, all right, yeah, no, good point.
Well, I want that. Yeah.
Can't leave now. 5 more minutes, then we'll run. I gotta see who gets the sword.
We're seeing people getting saved by when they touch Chihiro's goldfish. So that's a process that's just ongoing throughout this entire fight. So this fight's kind of just like a way of stalling in a way.
Yeah, and the dad's kind of revealing that, like, hey, moving this much stuff out of the auction, especially if he's just getting used to this, probably gonna be draining him. You sure my idiot, useless son is going to have the power to do this the whole time?
Yeah, he's getting nosebleeds. He's not feeling too good. He's got a tummy ache.
I'm gonna throw up.
I guess I hadn't even thought about, like, a lot of Chihiro's motivation comes from his dad, and this whole arc has been about fathers really ruining their children.
Yeah, this is and I do think one of the big quotes is around here. I don't know if it's happened yet. I don't think so. But right now he's just calling out the father for being like for being a manipulator and all that stuff. Just like pretty standard straightforward stuff. Don't be a gaslighter. That's not.
He's like, you
not
call
cool,
yourself
bro.
a father? He's like, no, I call myself daddy.
Yeah, I call myself the guy who does the Rakuzaichi no matter what. That's the most important thing, probably.
You're in my domain, Chihiro. You can't stop this auction.
Oh, a bunch of more grenades get sent at Chihiro, and then he blows up.
Another cool explosion shot.
And just before that, we saw the sword get thrown.
Oh yeah, so he's doing the thing that like what was Sojo did with the Cloud Gouger, where he's able to bring himself to the sword.
But it was a fake.
Double fake. I love that so much.
Yeah, you just see the sword halfway through Chihiro's face, and
got him with the old triple blind.
What level of Yomi are you on, idiot?
I love the sword with the koi fish pattern or the goldfish pattern on it.
Yeah,
oh yeah, you can see the little pattern on the sword. So
like, don't worry, I'm just gonna hide it. I'm gonna take it now. It's mine. Don't touch me.
Kiora Sazanami gets a big old cut through his torso.
He's like, hey, I know I'm gonna die today, but my life is for this, man.
Yeah, so he buries himself into the ground with this Shinichi, and he's like, okay, we're still continuing the auction from here.
Even though he's all fucked up, he's still like given the illusion for the auctioneers that like, hey, everything's
cool.
Yeah, I forgot we kind of glossed over that, but yeah, that the version of him that's at the auction is a projection, and just like, and now it's kind of starting to fall apart too because of how much damage he's taking.
So we need to get down to him. Just kind of skimming a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, lore of just crazy guy who had the sword nobody saw the war. There were no casualties, and they were like, well, we couldn't even have anybody use this thing because, like, what if anything broke out? Because the guy that held it is like some crazy guy or whatever.
So he put a crazy seal on the sword. It shouldn't be broken, but he broke it.
Yeah. So the leader of the Hishaku, the super bad guy magician gang, actually worked to wear down the seal, which is why Kiora Sazanami can get access to the Shinichi now.
No,
So
though its
he's got
wielder
the
still
big
bad
sword.
guy's got the fucking sword.
He's got
got
the
the
atomic
bomb.
bomb sword.
Yeah, we get these dramatic shots of the owner who can control it from a
Yeah.
distance, basically.
This can you try to like 2-page spread when this one happens?
Yeah.
Like the big, it's coming later. Like the big
Okay,
visual one. It's such a good spread.
Yeah, so
Uh,
big old like a butterfly made of blood looking pattern. Man, this
Yeah,
art
we
is so
we
good.
still really do not know what this sword actually does.
Yeah,
fraction of its power.
We just know it's terrifying.
Like he can't draw it to do anything other than like this is just it being wielded.
yeah.
Yeah, this is just him like
Just
like he
holding
just like
the sword. He
yeah,
hasn't
he's-
pulled it out.
It's sheathed. It's entirely sheathed.
Yeah.
But even that is just like enough to give it crazy power. And so it seems like that's interesting. It's like the actual wielder is allowing this to happen, which is why he can wield it in any capacity in the first place. And a half-dead man wielding a sheathed sword and using like
Is
a percentage of its
holding
power.
off our hero, basically. Like, even in this completely weakened state with a weapon that is not his and he doesn't know how to use, it's so strong that Chihiro is struggling.
Yeah, and he just starts saying random shit. Spider. What does spider mean? Dragonfly. I don't know. Just random shit's happening. I like just.
Yeah,
just
Spiderweb
this-
traps him.
We're not gonna say what all this
Dragonfly-
shit is.
Beam
Boom,
at
boom,
him.
boom.
Yeah. Like clearly this is just like a preview. This is going to be a big thing
Yeah.
later.
Yeah, someday we're gonna have to fight the dude who actually knows how to use this thing, and it's gonna be a problem.
I agree, Rocket. I love the bug aesthetic. This whole thing with the bug powers, and then we get the big one, and the big bungus is so pretty.
Yeah. Yeah. And now Yuki's in there with him, with their flame bone. They're both taking him on now together.
And he used
Oh,
his copy ability.
Yeah, so he's copying her flame bone. Yeah.
I've got to
They
use
absorbed
my
in that first
rival's
fight.
power to stop you.
Get more fighting.
Yeah.
The plants like grow out of the ground every time he uses it. Every time it just like scrapes along the ground, a whole bunch of plants appear.
Now he's
And
gonna
then he,
try to
like,
sheath it.
Unsheaths like half an inch of it, and now these like
Centipede.
big old
The
Like, yeah.
centipede.
whole bunch of black ominous orbs, or I don't even know what
I
are
don't
they
know.
doing?
Like they're just
He- I think it's clasping closed, like he's not able to do it, so it all disappears.
yeah. He like pulled it out and then like slammed it back in.
Okay. Yeah, like I think this is definitely intentional. It's just like, man, the power of this thing is so off the scale you can't even tell what's happening. It's really cool.
Yeah, which I
My
think that's
eyes can't
intentional.
even keep up. It's so fast.
It begins at 1 billion.
Please,
$10
someone just buy the stamp sword so I don't have to keep putting up this. So the Rakuzaichi can end and I can fulfill my destiny, please.
I wanna lay
Yeah.
down,
My
please, my head
merchandise.
hurts.
Oh man.
This auction's falling apart, and if I die,
Yeah, the projection of him in the actual auction house is just like falling apart.
I love how shaky it gets in that panel.
Oh yeah.
Like, oh yeah, the line works a lot looser and doubled up, as if it's like your eyes going out of focus.
Yeah.
boom, boom.
And they're also like racing against the clock. Like we got to get everybody out of here before
Yeah. Like the
mentally
entire
falls
world is
apart.
falling apart. The floor is cracking up.
I think
they've
they've
still
said
got
something like when
hostages
he
in there.
dies, this whole place will collapse. So it's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
like we're kind of killing him, but also need to run through it and get everything out of here.
Yeah, there's still like a bunch of hostages. I feel like there's like 12 hostages or something left. Like there's a lot that needs to be done still before this guy dies.
Such a good panel. This is so.
Yeah, that shot's
this is
awesome.
Choreographed so fucking good with like this. This is hard, man, to do anatomy like this and these poses to read well at this.
Absolutely.
Like this skewed.
Foreshortening never looks good, so it's
yeah.
hard to make that happen. And that's like a big old like not fisheye, but it's what kind of lens would that be, Tyler? You know about this stuff, right?
Super wide
Yeah, super wide lens,
and ultra wide. Sorry.
ultra wide.
I'd
That's
say this
even-
is about a
that's-
14 millimeter
That's a gigawatt.
See, there you
on a
go.
full
That's the
frame, a
inside.
35 millimeter sensor size. So yeah, I'd say 14 millimeter.
Because
Yeah, if you wanted to
like when
take
you're
this
drawing,
photo-
like it's hard to it's very hard to like be like, oh, I'm gonna have this kind of lens, this kind of width to
Yeah.
it. Foreshortening is just not something that it's very easy to pull off with art, so it's definitely done very well here.
And a great shot of Chihiro's ass.
Yeah, look at him all taped up.
Yeah, some may say that this part is his cloak flapping up, but that's
but
that's
we
his
all
ass.
know.
we all know.
Cheeky row, more like it.
Happy row.
Oh, there it is. This is what I wanted the spread for. I thought this happened earlier.
But look at that.
Yeah. This is
Just like
so
they're in
good.
the actual auction house now, and just the sword is just making all these plants sprout up, and like they're growing through people's legs up to their faces. It's insane. That's crazy imagery.
Yeah. It's a
We've
very,
already
very
had,
good
like,
visual.
Like, a lightning power and stuff, and Chihiro's kind of got like a fish motif thing. Like with this having so much like bug and plant stuff, it just feels like these weapons are like uncontrollable nature erupting from whatever these swords are made of. Is like what it gives me vibes of. Like it's just like this primordial force that humans maybe shouldn't interact with.
Yeah, it definitely does feel that way, especially with this sword. It's just, and that kind of leans into the idea. It's just like we don't even know what its powers really are. It's not categorizable. It's just something beyond our comprehension.
We set up a ceiling for a sorcerer, and now we're setting it up for the weapon.
A sword, sir.
Thank you.
Now the storehouse is still crumbling. Got to get a whole bunch of more people out.
The last one.
And again, Chihiro is just like, I can't let a single person die from these swords. So he's still going on
back
with that.
in that auction house, and we are going to save every last one.
If Chihiro goes back in there, he's going to die because the thing's collapsing around him, but also Hakuri could die because he's teleporting
Getting so
dozens.
exhausted.
Yeah, he's getting all the nosebleeds. Oh, man. And you see him reaching out to who is presumably the Inazuma kid's sister.
Yeah, the kid's sister, I think.
Yeah.
So it's just like, she's probably like the last one. It's like, okay, he needs to save her. This is our human connection.
We cannot let that kid down.
You see him reaching out his hand, and that's a cutoff into we're chapter 43. We're nearly at the end.
Hell yeah.
I'll touch them all.
Whoa, Chihiro. Oh, damn.
Now, that's what a true hero says.
Oh, man. Hell not saying he's spitting up Marcola. Was that why he did the spit thing? Was that a foreshadowing for all the blood?
Oh!
That'd be awesome.
I thought he learned how to grit his teeth.
It was telegraphed from the very beginning.
Yeah, it's reading comprehension. Thank you.
Damn, got us.
And now
Also,
the stage is filled with black.
Yeah, just the disgust. Well, like I thought that was like I like is that okay? Is that the black from the sword?
Yeah.
Because I thought that was like the power went away, and here is just the blood of the people that got caught in the crossfire. But okay, yeah, maybe you're more right.
I mean, it looks like it's spilling over like blood. It could be.
But he also like the little black goopy goop of the
Yeah, I guess
sword
there's
is,
still plants and stuff growing out of people, so it's like that has not dissipated.
Yeah, I wonder if
It's
the
gross
plants
no
just
matter what
kind
it
of
is.
fall apart into blood-like substance.
It is all a nightmare for sure.
Look, the building's falling apart. The sewage line got broken and is filling the room.
Yeah, that's all poop water right there.
This in particular is like because we're wrapping it up now. I think there's a part here I wanna like talk a little bit about but we can do it after the summary.
Okay, yeah, let's we've got like a chapter and a half left, so let's finish that off. So now we've got Kiora Sazanami being like, I could have been a better person if I didn't care so much about the Rakuzaichi. His wife died, and he's just like, okay, still got to do the Rakuzaichi.
Good thing I've still got this thing giving my life purpose.
Yeah, and his
not
wife,
my family or something.
Just there, his wife was like, I'm miserable and I'm dying. I might as well tell you that you're just brainwashed by all this trad shit, and it's just made you such a bad person. And that's the last thing she said.
And then he imagines himself sitting down with his family and being happy.
Family values.
And
shattered by the gavel.
Shattered.
That's like a moment
None of it matters.
That'll be such a good moment in the anime. I can already tell.
And he, of course, in his final moments, has to just entirely double down on it.
Mm-hmm.
I can't be wrong my whole life.
Don't back down. Double down.
Yep. He spent it's sunk cost. He spent his whole life doing the bad thing. You should keep doing it.
Yeah, and then is it Shiva who has like the realization, wait, everyone in this situation is insane.
Yeah.
All of them are just dying to accomplish what they're trying to do.
They all have their stated goals, and they will do literally whatever it takes to see them through.
Everyone's dying.
Look at
Everyone's
everybody's
coughing up
climax. I'll never let anybody slip through my hands again. He's like, fuck you, we're gonna keep doing it. Everybody just gets the bam, bam, bam.
Everyone is reaching their limit at the exact same time, and then
We've
just
saved
that
them
little
all.
panel, we made it, and it all just comes crumbling down. Everything's just really quiet after that.
And then in the last couple seconds of good old Kyora's final moments, he's like, hey, you know what? There is one thing, though. You were right. I refused to see the potential in my own kid. It's my fault that this happened. Like,
And he's got the flowers coming out of him. It's so good.
Yeah, really great imagery. It's just a silent panel of just like him finally dying after all that. I think this is the latest chapter.
Now
Oh,
we're,
man,
Yeah,
now
now
we're
we-
finally current.
now
with
we
a
are
thing.
current.
We are current. The curtain falls.
And here's our little 3-man squad that we've made.
Kyoura Sazanami is dead. Everyone starts running out of the auction house. The auction has been
Yeah,
destroyed.
auction's over. Get out of here. Also, I think the magic police are here. Get out before they start taking names.
But Chihiro's still there, and they're like, "Oh, let's maybe we can still get him." But nope. Mr. Shiba pulls up. Chihiro's able to grab the sword, presumably, and they disappear.
And meanwhile, the building collapses on the criminals remaining inside.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Kind of
Right
like a
at the
real.
same moment.
Oh, but
They
Chihiro's
activate
not
the
there.
sumo power.
Chihiro's not there. Yep. Hiyuki stopped him, and then they teleported to the alternate dimension. From Sumo
This time,
Man.
no Hiruka to get in the way or whatever his name is.
Hikaru.
Hikaru, thank you.
To just pass out for convenience.
But it all worked out. They're carrying him out there now.
Yeah,
problem.
I like that shot of Chihiro just being on his shoulders.
You don't want a big sumo guy to carry you,
Who doesn't?
right?
Yeah.
Jeez.
But Hiyuki has the sword now. And turns out Chihiro's okay with that because they made a deal. What's the deal? What's the deal?
I realized
Deal
at
of
some
a
point maybe
lifetime.
that working against this police force would be difficult.
And of course, just kind of mourning his dad. I forget. Hikaru no go.
He was like
Morning
more
is
strong.
Yep.
And we get to see Mr. Inazuma reuniting with his sister, of
Mhm.
course.
Like, and hey, you might think you're a weakling, but you saved them. You made this happen. Don't
And
worry,
then-
little samurai man. You are a hero.
Yeah. And then Hikaru no go wants to just hang around with Chihiro because he sees value in himself when he's working with him. So that's really important. And now
The
with
curtain.
Taiko drum, the curtain falls.
I like that. We like the book ending this whole thing with the same like visual from the auction started. Here's the shot of the thing, and then
The big auction house.
here it is, lying in rubble.
Yeah, the
That's
whole thing.
over.
I love that
Good.
the entire building collapsed. It's a great way to show things are over. And then we see the flashback of the deal they made. Horrifying power and all that. Yep.
Hey, I realize that I don't even really know how to control this thing. Maybe you guys should hold on to it.
Yeah, maybe the police are a bit more capable of handling that, but I can't let that alone.
Yeah, because they
either,
made
so-
his logic was, well, they made the seal so they can maybe do something about it. Like if they're clearly a step above me in terms of containing these.
But he can't just let it be on his own because you can't trust the police with that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
now he's like, let me join.
Now it's time for me to join the magic police
I'm
and
in
fix
there.
it from the inside.
I'm sure I can fix it. I can get that information I need. I can figure out what my father was trying to hide.
Yeah, I'm wondering how, like, because I could see this being like a means to an end. Like, these guys probably have like more information available, so probably know where more swords are for me to get.
Mhm.
So like, I'm curious how long this will be. A team up. Like, how long is he gonna put up with the cop bit before he goes? Actually, I realize you guys are also fucked up, and I'm out of here.
I know.
Comes a rogue
I'm
cop.
excited to be current after this. Like we are now at the start of a new arc and current. Like we were current in like the tail end of this arc. And how fast
Yep.
they set up things and then swerve all the time. I'm just
Yeah.
I'm
Really
excited
fun to
now
read
because I'm
week
like,
to week.
ooh, is this gonna be a thing? Is he gonna be with the magic cops? We saw that little task force earlier. Those like
Mhm, and we
five
had the
guys
one
that
guy
died,
who
the one guy who
yeah,
lived.
Yeah, the
Like-
one
Yeah.
guy who lived and really hated him. Like, so we knew we were gonna get more with that.
Plenty of good
Yeah.
stuff to do with that if they stick with it, but I could also see it just being a in and out type deal. Like this manga's so fast and so unpredictable that I never know what's gonna happen. I'm just like, I'm down, whatever you do, I'm sure it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, and he's definitely got like two kind of allies in there already, like Mr. Shiba's friend. I don't remember who he what he was
Yes,
called.
that guy.
And also Hiyuki and then Tofuru or whatever.
Yeah, tofu.
Sumo tofu.
But yeah.
But yeah, I really liked this arc, and I really like where it leaves things. Like I feel bad because I keep forgetting our boy Hakuri's name, but like I like him a lot.
Yeah.
Like I like do not be swayed by how I can't remember anyone's name in this. I do think he's a really genuinely cool and fun character.
Yeah, he's great.
And I loved his progression throughout this of him slowly kind of coming to terms with who he is and where his value really lies, kind of stuff. All very good. I love it.
All very well written. It does just like all of the dialogue for it, like I mentioned, just feels very real. The fact that he just heaps the blame on himself, even though he's clearly being manipulated. It's just all, man, it's just really good stuff.
They get so much accomplished in the 20-ish chapters that we went through because like they're just it's so dense with like shit happening. And
I mean, they were
Yeah.
able to complete an arc in 20 chapters.
yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it felt big. It felt like a lot was going on, but 20 chapters is just very, very short for an arc in manga.
Do you think every arc we're going to adopt another magical orphan where we got Char who could heal people and now we've got Hakuri who can have his own pocket dimension?
I could see that coming together, and then they're gonna make their own little. I don't know. Maybe they'll be like
Yeah.
bounty hunters for the cops or something, and then break off.
Yeah, no, it's hard to tell. Like it feels like a lot of manga do tend to do a thing where it's just like first 4 people we meet and have character arcs for kind of become the core group, and then things kind of spiral out from there.
I'm excited to learn more about Shiba. We don't know anything about him other than he shows up and fixes
so far
everything.
He's just been really cool.
He was buddies with his dad who like we still also have like we still really don't know like the big war that the swords were used in. Like we don't know what it was about, who it was between. We
Yeah.
just know that it was a bad thing and all the swords were on one side and they won.
Shiba just feels like the Gandalf or the another character, so he has to die.
Yeah,
He's
he's
too
too
cool.
mentorish and knows too much. Something's got to
Oh
happen.
yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
But I the thing I wanted to mention that I
Yes.
like brought up earlier, the chapter 43, if you go to like just the big climax thing here with Kyora, what his name, right? The
Yeah.
dad?
Aura, yeah, it was the dad, I think.
Him going like, so for Chihiro, a lot of his like character development has been taking stuff that his dad has said and like meeting other people that are like interpreting things his dad has done differently. And then you get like a
Yeah.
counteract of that with like Kyora's also a father figure who's imposed this really terrible worldview onto Hakuri. And then he feels like he was incapable of seeing that you can interpret like family values in a positive and a negative way. Like Chihiro's dad can make weapons, and that's a cool and also maybe bad thing. And I like the parallel structure between those two. Hakuri feels like an inverse of the Chihiro structure. And I like
Yeah.
that when he is like pushed to his limits at the end of this here, he doubles down on everything. It's my favorite thing for a villain to do when he's like, oh, my dead wife was like, maybe I'm cringe. And I'm like, no, all of you are cringe.
No, I was based and you were cringe.
I sold my cringe off at the auction.
And it's one of my favorite villain things to see a villain double down on their villainness, because there's been a lot of some people have talked about this, just in vague places. I'm going to say just some people as a catch-all vagary. But there's a little mumbling topic of people making villains sympathetic a ton in like more modern fiction, like since the 80s and 90s onwards. Like villains have become very sympathetic. Like a villain has to have some reason that they're a monster, some reason that they do something. Oh, he's just misunderstood. He's a little bean. I like to say, I go, no, fuck that. Like, fuck this shit.
We gave him every out. He had every opportunity to not be the monster he became, and he went that way anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is the kind of the right combination between the two. You're not just like giving them sympathy and just saying, oh, they're a tragic figure and stuff. That's not really a good villain necessarily.
Yeah.
It can be, but also like the pure evil and just saying, I am evil, I like doing evil also isn't necessarily
very one-dimensional. It's not.
Yeah, it's one-dimensional. But there are people you could consider evil in real life, and this is the kind of reasoning that they have. It's understandable. You can see where it came from. In a sense, before they take things too far, it could be considered tragic. But the very reasonable expectation of, I've lived my whole life like this, I can't turn back now. Literally, the sunk cost fallacy is just, people fall into that trap all the time and just double down. It's like, I've already burned every bridge. I can't do anything else but stick to my guns.
That's right. They play Yu-Gi-Oh. The last panel before he screams here, it's the generational thing. It is a generational sunk cost. Back where you were on, like to the left 2 more times. The dad at the top, like his father saying that, oh, you're the patriarch and my father before me. Like him feeling like, well, this is my duty. I got to fulfill my job. I taught my kids to do their job and they died doing their jobs. I got to die doing my job. So I look like a good dad.
Yeah. I've not only spent my whole life holding this up. I've also like the 8 generations before me, I'm letting them down if I don't do this. Yeah.
Yeah. And it is tragic in a way that, like, you know, man's had an out. I like the flashback with the wife, going like, hey, this thing sucks. And like, I would have never married you if not for the auction. So they said have made me. So it sounds like it was a forced or arranged marriage.
Yeah.
Could have gotten out. Could have had anything else out of it. But yeah. And just that combined with ending it with him dying and the flowers coming out of his like dying body is just like, oh, it like
a beautiful metaphor.
Yeah, a beautiful metaphor for the death of the old generation. Like on the blood of his father is like born this like new beautiful like way through. He has broke the cycle, and it's like it's real good, and I love it. I'm a slut for shit like that. It's you know, maybe I read too much into it, but hey, that's what
no, that's absolutely it. It's just very very well done, and of course it's the sword that generates those flowers. So visuals, imagery, he did that to himself.
Yeah. That was the whole little thing I took away from that. I thought just the big climactic finisher of his arc was very well done. I loved it.
Yeah, extremely good. And yeah, the generational aspect of it, I think is going to be a continuous theme throughout, because yeah, Chihiro's dad and how he interprets how he should follow in his footsteps. It's like I just got John Mercury Falcon into reading this a little bit. And he was like, oh, I really like the first chapter, how like instead of doing action or anything, the first half of it is just setting up his relationship with his dad. And so it's just like, yeah, that's what this is about. It's not about anything else that's going on aside from this tension between generations.
Yeah.
And how to fulfill what they wanted without sacrificing yourself along the way.
Yeah. It's great. I love what they've done with I sing its praises all the time about how much it is accomplished in 40-ish chapters that other things fail to do in hundreds. It's really good.
Yeah, you really could read this whole thing up to this point in like 3-ish hours and just experience a great story.
One thing I was wondering as a bit of a tangent, I'm like, man, this would be some of the most tightly packed 13 to 12 episode first season of an anime ever.
Absolutely. Like I say like the golden pacing for adaptation is an average of about 3 chapters per episode. And that would end up around 12 episodes, and that would just be really really tight.
Yeah, and just this really does accomplish so much, and I think it has dude has such a mastery of flowing shit in the page. I know Tyler called out that one panel of the lighter burning the old memories and shit. Like really fun visuals. You're really using manga to its extent and fucking around and finding out. I love it.
I'm a huge slut for like panel interaction or unique
Yeah.
panel, or like fucking just like a character like doing a big move and their arm goes out of the panel.
Yeah, the
you
shatter,
said stuff
the
that
shatter panel
shatters.
is really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, unique to the medium. It's
Yeah.
just that kind of stuff's great.
Like
Yeah.
I will scream about Witch Hat Atelier. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, Witch Hat. Witch Hat Atelier. was really
Because
good.
circles are a huge part in the lore of that series. So there's just a lot of the panels are circular.
Mhm.
Yeah, we absolutely need to read that at some point. I definitely want to like look at how all these people interpret the paneling of their comics.
You're gonna love Dead Demons. But as soon as you
I
start it
probably
2 days
will.
beforehand, which is a
I'll
plenty
probably
of
start it a
time.
week beforehand.
You will have plenty of time. It's not that long.
It flows.
Yeah. Speaking of which, how many like we were saying the first 3 volumes? Did we figure out exactly how many chapters that was?
Chapter 24, I think.
24. So let's say 24 for now. We'll have one more episode of Ready or Not before we get to that, so we'll confirm that then. But the first 24-ish is what we'll read for that.
Yeah.
But man, yeah. So this second arc, this auction house arc, it just felt like it really built on the first in every way, and didn't really lose anything. Like I guess the only thing I've noticed is that Char isn't really part of the story anymore, which absolutely makes sense. They're responsible people, and they're keeping a
They're not going to bring a
8-year-old
kid
out
to
of
the to the underworld auction.
You brought up Char being, are they just going to keep taking in magical orphans? And like, we didn't really see her at all in this, and I think that was fine. Like, I think her not being here was okay.
It was entirely reasonable. Like her arc was completed. She's at a very satisfying place. She can take a back seat for a bit.
Yeah.
And it would just be weird if they did bring her into these kind of situations, and she'd be annoying if she forced her way in. So
Yeah.
yeah, best choice there.
Then I like the expansion into different wackier powers. I appreciate the sumo guy getting introduced. We got the fun things with the storehouse. Like Hakuri's teleporting people, but in a different way than Shiba is. We got a pocket
Yeah.
dimension. Okay, it's still a little different. I like seeing that.
Getting introduced to more non-combative powers.
Yes, that's what I want to see more of, and I love seeing those. And
I get the sense that he's definitely ramping up into that kind of stuff.
mhm. I'm sure the
a lot of
magic police are going to be crazy too.
Yeah, I was just going to say, a lot of the people we've met with crazy magic powers have been part of the magic police, so I'm sure teaming up with them is going to give us a chance to see a bunch of zany powers,
Yeah.
or at least that's what I hope.
I can't wait for him to go in magic police class, and he is butting heads with the top officer.
Chief Cheerio, we can't be going after this thing, but a sword could be there. Send all of the resources.
Look, you're a cadet. I can't assign you to this.
You're a loose cannon cop on the edge, Chihiro. Turn in your badge and your sword.
Yeah,
I give it a reedy.
I think this is a reedy, easy.
Absolute reading for
Absolutely.
me.
Very, very fun, very fresh and new manga. This is the future of manga, everyone. Enjoy it.
I mean, I think this has a better start than Naruto does. Like, it really is so bam, 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 bam. I think as soon as like more people get on this, it is going to be immensely popular, and an anime will obviously help.
It's like super fast paced, but it does not feel rushed. And I think that is like a thing that like things do not do well. Like there are definitely things that go fast, but it just feels like it's like way too fast, too much. But like this was like a solid 20 some chapters. It did not feel like I was like buried with stuff. Like, yeah, I forgot names and stuff, but I'm going to do that for everything. I'm just a native English speaker who just wants everyone to be named Joe and George. So like
Sixth George, that's easy to keep track of, damn it.
Exactly. That's my problem. Well, there's George Smith and there's George Brown. We know they're two different people.
George Lopez.
Yeah.
We're gonna have an Ed and Eddie situation going.
Exactly.
Yeah, as long as we know how many D's they have in their name, it's fine.
But like so much happened in this, but it all felt like it was quick, but it did not feel like it was zooming to an uncomfortable degree. And like the characters who showed up, even if they only showed up for a little bit, like there's maybe 8 panels in total with Mr. Izanami or whatever the kid's name was, and like I already felt for him and like wanted to make sure his sister got home safe. So like it's real good, and I like it a lot.
Mm-hmm. Totally. Anything?
Well,
any
play
final
Fortnite.
thoughts?
Any?
What'd you say?
Y'all want to play Fortnite?
Okay.
Well, I guess we've got the sense that this is wrapping down, and that's why we need to start playing Fortnite.
Obviously.
I can't think of anything else I wanted to talk about. It feels like we covered pretty much everything. Like there was a kind of a point where we were just kind of scrolling through the story. What's happening next? What's happening next? But that's just because we read it a while ago. We don't remember too good.
Yeah. I'm excited to find out in particular more about the owner, the original wielder of the Shinuichi or whatever, or the Shinuchi.
Yeah.
Because like we saw him.
There's
and we
definitely
saw
something
him.
weird going on with him. Like the fact that he willingly let Kyora use it is a very interesting choice.
And
I
now
wonder-
that Chihiro's like actually teaming up with the magic police who is holding him, will probably, knowing how fast this series goes to things that they set up, like we will probably get that payoff very quick of like, let's go talk to that guy and see what he's willing to say.
We can't let you talk to him. Why? Because he's your uncle.
Whoa.
It's your mom.
I know someone in the chat was theorizing that Shinuchi wielder is the actual boss of the evil magic clan, and the goal is to bust him out.
It's the old boss.
Ooh.
We're trying to kill him so I can take over power.
Or that.
Yeah.
Okay, I could definitely
And
see that.
I like either of those outcomes. I think that could be fun, but I'm just
They do
excited to
seem
see where it
very
goes.
willing to let them get together, and that could be for multiple reasons. So yeah.
Oh, Kagurabachi, second arc, Rakuzaichi.
Reedy.
Rakuzaichi arc.
Reedy.
Reedy.
Reedy's across the board.
Ben, can you like mute all of them for Reedy whenever they say it and just pitch shift my voice up and down to make it sound like them, and then just overlay that so it sounds like we said it all at the same time?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm not gonna do much editing for these. I'm tired.
No, I just always want to give you like big dumb editing requests for you to say
Listen,
no.
normally I'm all for it. I've just got a lot going on right now.
No, I just want you to always say
there's
no.
a certain card game that's demanding a lot of my attention. It's just
I love
gonna be really
you. It
cool,
looks so good.
No, I cannot wait for this to be done.
Same.
I want to share it with the world.
It looks rad. All
So-
parts of it. All the stuff that Ben's working on, and actually the card game.
They have no idea. They don't know. Yeah.
Soon they will.
Now we're finally current with one thing.
Hooray!
Yay!
Holy
Which
shit!
means we're once, so I think next week is going to, are we doing Jujutsu then?
Next
Yes.
week is
next week should be-
Jujutsu.
God, that
The
was,
At the
Jujutsu
beginning of
Holy-
Jujutsu, do we want to talk about?
we have to do the
The new
comedy
chapter?
fight and all the Sakuna stuff and
Yeah,
get
we
current.
we have
There's
a
so
lot.
much shit.
There is a lot to go over.
Yeah, there's a lot of good shit, and just
But
and
we're
right
gonna try
now,
our
if you
best
are
to be fully caught up.
if you
by
are
next
not
week.
current with Jujutsu Kaisen, holy fuck, it is getting spicy right now. I'm so excited. But we'll be doing
So-
that, and then we'll finally be hopefully current with two things.
Two things.
And then we can maybe transition this thing into being a. We wanted the whole idea was this was going to be our weekly manga catching thing, and Shonen Jump's a good vehicle for that. So we're kind of just slowly picking away at things that are currently coming out in Shonen Jump and other shit that we read.
Yep.
So every week we can be like, all right, weekly Kagurabachi, let's talk about that for half an hour. Weekly Jujutsu, let's talk about that for 2 hours, and then we can, and just do a whole bunch of a little shotgun blast
the
of
idea is
everything.
eventually we'll catch up with enough that we can actually make segments about that. But we need to catch up with some first.
Yeah, so we're going to be intersplicing all that stuff, but I think we could probably still get a hearty show out of doing some weekly stuff with just Kagurabachi and Jujutsu Kaisen, maybe. So we'll see.
I
We'll see how
believe in
we'll see how quickly we can get through the last segment
Look,
of
yeah,
Jujutsu
that's a lot.
Kaisen.
Fast forward 2 years, and it's like, okay, this week we've caught up on Kagurabachi, One Piece, Don.
One Piece is over.
Yeah,
Dragon Ball,
and you've had to
Daima
replace
2.
you've had to replace me and Ben because we killed ourselves.
That's right. Ben killed Tyler and then himself, and then I was
Yeah,
like,
we killed each other in a passionate fit of love making because One Piece is so good.
But don't worry, because we have plenty of raw audio that I can AI clone your voices, and with the new
It'll be like you're here.
yeah.
And I'm giving
Yeah.
you explicit permission right now. I give it Reedy.
Reedy.
I give it a
So
Reedy.
we'll figure it out as we go. Like we're still this is still the preamble to the proper Reedy or not. We're still figuring it out.
Yeah, this is technically still episode 0 of Reedy or Not. All of this.
Yeah, episode 0.3.
This is the ground floor. So we'll try to officially catch up to Jujutsu Kaisen next. We need to learn how to talk faster about going through chapters, but once we do,
My brain don't talk too fast.
watch out.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Ah!
Good times. Zone.